down my channel.
That's like the number one thing. I genuinely could pivot my channel to be like a music channel, but there's no fucking way. Not there's zero chance of that happening without every single thing either being copywritten or taken down. Even if I pause every like in 10 seconds.
And YouTube is letting them, in which he talks about having a very similar issue.
So I've been on this platform for a very long time, and I've watched the YouTube algorithm change its mind more times than I can count. But things are really going
There's
downhill
like
recently.
no fucking
One of
way.
my latest uploads got copyright claimed 8 times. 8 claims on 8 minutes of content. That's literally one copyright claim per minute. It has to be a Guinness World Record,
like, there's
right?
no way.
I really don't know if that's a YouTube problem, a music industry problem, or just my ultimate destiny as a bassist. But whatever it is, it's completely
Or as a
ridiculous.
musician.
These claims are on a video where I
No way,
showcase
man.
some epic bass lines. That was clearly an educational video, and that's clearly fair use. Then in another video, I just showed a clip of me dressed as Sylvester Stallone playing a very famous song for like 4 seconds, and the entire video got claimed. Out of my last 10 videos, 8 were copyright claimed for similar reasons. With all these claims, they are effectively shutting down my channel indirectly. It's a new strategy.
Okay, so this isn't. If you're a Davey fan, like, you already
make
know
no revenue,
this.
I will eventually stop, right?
This is crazy. I mean, the system is so broken. There's no world in which all 8 of those songs had their entire market value substituted by his 8-minute video. It's not even a snippet of the song. This is a fraction of a snippet because he's only playing the bass line for the thing and not even showing the whole bass line for the whole minute. Now, in this video, he makes a good point when he goes on to talk about how it would basically be different if any other medium has these issues. Like if gaming content creators were to suddenly start getting copyright strikes from the gaming company saying that they didn't license out the game properly in order to be able to make money off of it, then obviously the whole world would be up in arms about it. But because it's been so bad for so long on YouTube, people kind of just accept that this is the way it is, even though the way that it is stupid. Now, probably in the thumbnail of this video, I'm gonna put something like he's losing everything with like that red splotch I put in all of my thumbnails. And the reason for that is a copyright claim kind of does nothing except that you lose the money for the video, which is obviously bad. But aside from that, your channel is not in danger. But some of these media companies won't just copyright claim. They will give you an actual strike on your YouTube channel. And YouTube has a very strict 3 strikes and you are out policy. So it goes from, oh man, I didn't make any money on this video to my entire career is in jeopardy really fast. And that's scary.
But what pushed me to make this video is one recent claim that really blew my mind. Years ago, I played a bass version of Moonlight Sonata from Beethoven, and that piece has been in the public domain for centuries, not years, literally centuries. I put a lot of effort into arranging it for bass, practicing it for days and weeks. It's not easy to play at all. And guess what? It got copyright claimed. What? It was claimed by a music label that apparently owns all the music in the universe, but obviously that was an error, right? So I disputed it, like usual. The result of my dispute, rejected. After reviewing your dispute,
that's a stupid basslight sonata.
Has decided the copyright claim is still valid. Who the is this? And you know what's the best part? Because I lost the claim, I actually got a copyright strike. That's much more serious, because you can have unlimited copyright claims and still be fine. But once I get 3 copyright strikes, my channel is gone, terminated. Seriously, this is insane.
Yeah, that's terrifying. And in this video, he goes on to talk about how he can afford to fight the legal battles in order to get the copyright strike removed, but that's not the reality for basically every other YouTuber that there is, including myself. I've gotten false copyright claims on my channel before, and I've disputed them, but then the dispute has been rejected, and I've been given the option to appeal, but YouTube tells you that if the appeal doesn't go through, then you risk getting a copyright strike, and 3 strikes and you're out. And to me, that's just not worth it. And I just kind of have to give up the $10 or $15 on the video that I would have made, 1, because I don't have the money to fight it legally if I need to, and 2, it's just not worth the risk to me. And 10 or 15 bucks isn't very much, but if you imagine that a bad actor is out there doing it to hundreds or thousands of channels, I mean, he's
okay, so this guy is not he's if you're a Davey fan, you already know all this. This was not any kind of new elucidation or whatever. Elucidation, the act of explaining, clarifying, or throwing light on something that is hard to understand. Yeah, this is exactly what it is. Mr. Beast lawsuit just got worse. I like Quintheo's stuff.
Yes, there is in fact
I just
another
found this
Mr.
guy.
Beast
He puts out some really good stuff, to be fair. So,
lawsuit that has just recently sprouted up, and this has to do with an OnlyFans creator who, for the sake of the Beast games, thought that they were required to delete their OnlyFans account.
right, I did hear about this.
I ended up going over this on a
Guys, there. When I started doing this in 2016, there used to be maybe one or two big things to cover. Too much, man. Too much. I don't know everything. I don't know most things, actually. It's just, man, I'm trying to keep up with the youths. As an unk, as a legitimate bona fide unk, but dude, it's hard. It's hard. Dealing with work and, well, my social life is completely non-existent, but like in dealing with online like political nonsense, everything's burning down, and then like social nonsense that's like not political, like this kind of stuff, dude. I don't know. I don't know if I'm just getting old and I can't deal with it, which is fine. We're all gonna die one day. Or what? But like I've got like multiple little thresholds of my life. Like I have like music, I have gaming, I have retro gaming. Those are different. Like gaming, I'm thinking of like normal mod, like Grand Theft Auto and like modern gaming stuff, like whatever's happening. I have like retro gaming world, and then I have like music, and other than music, like playing, like being a musician, and then being a physicist, and being an astronomer. Those are two different things as well. And then streaming, and then this big bubble of work nonsense, and then dude, it's hard to keep up. I don't even know how my fucking brain can do it. And do it in the way that it already has. So, anyway, let's watch this Mr. Beast lawsuit thing. I kind of feel like there's a clip, actually. Let's see if you, that I'm sure. There's a clip on King of the Hill. Bobby out. Bobby does not pass out from exhaustion. This is wrong. King of the Hill is wrong.
Oh, companion book.
Bobby's trying to get on this team. By the way, this is the impetus for this. Bobby is trying to get on this, or he is on this team. It's like a UIL thing, and it's for like modern I want to say modern gaming, but that's at the Ackman talking. It's for modern entertainment stuff.
Your mother and I are headed to
This
the
is me.
Megalo Mart. It's the last day of super savings.
Wait, I'm coming with you. I gotta get this one book and SimCity 4, and I think J-Lo's new CD drops today.
SimCity 4.
Grab my shoes, I'll be in the car.
Dude, this is wild because SimCity 4 is still going on. Orion, what are you doing? Good key. Here, look at him. My best friend. Sit down. Orion, we gotta cut your nails, broski.
Meet
I
us
may do
by the
that
wood
right now.
glue in 20 minutes.
I never noticed these before. I guess they're trying to make shopping fun. It's working!
Sure. I'm Britney Spears. I'm Kelly Clarkson.
I'm Kelly Clarkson. I won American Idol and my debut album
Here,
went to number one.
Ryan,
One
stop.
song on the album I wrote with Christina Aguilera. She was in the Mickey Mouse Club with Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake. Justin is a member of NSYNC. They sang on the soundtrack for The Grinch, starring Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey was in a movie with Renee Zellweger, who's worked with Catherine Zeta-Jones, who's acted with John Cusack, who has a house in Malibu near Pamela Anderson,
Ryan.
who dated Scott Baio, who was on Happy Days with Ron Howard, who directed Apollo 13 starring Tom Hanks, who's married to Rita Wilson, who was in Mixed Nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of me. That's kind of me
What
right
happened?
Bobby, are you okay? Follow the tip of my nose with your eyes.
Peggy, give him some
Stupid.
air. Now, Bobby, you just fainted. How do you feel?
I don't know. It was weird. It was like my heart was on fast forward, but my brain was on pause.
Yeah.
Then nothing.
Well, he was running pretty fast.
Okay, I can't show too much of that because YouTube will annihilate this stream. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel all the time. Oh.
A live stream, so just giving you
Okay.
a heads up for how this is recorded. But of course, with all that being out
So
of
this is about the Mr. Beast lawsuit, I suppose.
the way, hope you enjoy the video. Mr. Beast is once again getting another lawsuit, or I should just say Beast Games,
Welcome
Amazon, I think it's
to
Beast
all
Holdings
who's here at
LLC
7
is
in
the
the
thing that's
morning.
being targeted
Like,
today.
why?
And the reason for that is because one of the contestants terminated their OnlyFans account because they thought they needed to in order to advance along in the Beast Games competition. I actually spent money to get the court case documents for this, and I shouldn't have, and I'll explain why. So that was a $10 that
shouldn't
went
have.
completely out the window, but let me explain. This comes from right over here. First thing that brought my attention to this
Robert
is a gentleman here,
Frund.
Rob Frund, or Rob Frund. I apologize, I'm probably butchering the name there. A Mr. Beast Games contestant is suing for fraud because she says she was told to delete her OnlyFans account to continue to the second
Right,
round
I've
of the
heard of
competition.
this.
She deleted it because she believed
Guys, it's a lot. Oh yeah, and then I have my RP little bubble. That y'all
doing so was mandatory. At
count.
the time,
or
plaintiff's
care.
OnlyFans account was an established income-producing business that generated more than $5,000 a month.
Does anyone
She
want
says
to
that the
play an
demand was
online
false.
role-playing
Wiping
game with
OnlyFans
me,
accounts
like
was
tabletop?
not a mandatory
roll
condition of
20?
participating. Now, huge shout out to Rob. I went to go look for this court documentation. I was able to get a hold of it and,
Oh,
had to
yes.
purchase it to, search it up, all that
Probably
good
not.
stuff. And then he messaged me back. I'd sent him a message at the same time, and he just sent the information anyway. So again, huge shout out to him. I wish I'd waited a little bit longer, but I wanted this all prepared. So I have the full court document. There isn't a whole lot more in it outside of what gets highlighted. This is really interesting. I admittedly, I'd hopped into Nicholas DeOrio's stream shortly before this, and he actually was covering this. And he was saying that this was like another person falling victim to Darwinism, and I might have to agree with him. This is a very interesting one. Let's pop into the photo here. This is kind of explaining the complaint here. A defendant, through their employee and or agent, Jock, informed the plaintiff that she was required to delete her OnlyFans account. Before being told to delete it, plaintiff maintained an active OnlyFans account. They explained this, made a net monthly income of $5,000 on or about August 15th of 2024. So I believe back in the
Dude, that is wild to show your titties. $5,000. And I'm $150,000 in student loan debt and running a planetarium. I do not make $5,000.
first Beast Games, Jock told plaintiff in substance and effect, so
Going to college does
roughly,
not
I would
help
have
you
to
make
estimate,
more money.
you have to
I will
delete your
just tell you
OnlyFans
that
account
right
if you
now.
want to participate in the second
I will
round.
tell you
Plaintiff
that
understood the
right
statement to
now.
mean that deleting her OnlyFans account was mandatory and that she would otherwise be eliminated from or barred from the second round in Toronto. Jock
I didn't hear
identified
about
himself or
this,
was
though.
presented to plaintiff as an employee and or agent of defendant in each of them, so Beast Games, and had apparent and or actual authority to convey contestant eligibility requirements because he was an agent of defendant in each of them. So effectively, they were like, okay, this employee told me I had to delete in substance and effect, so basically said I had to delete my OnlyFans, otherwise I wouldn't be able to continue with the competition. So they just full stop deleted their OnlyFans account, which it's a bit confusing to believe that, like, okay, yeah, this individual is being told to delete it. And they're like, okay, so you're asking me to delete $60,000 of money that I make in a year for the sake of moving on to the next round in the Beast Games competition. And I followed through.
Actually, I nearly make that, but for far more work. Now that I think of it, I don't make $5,000 a month. Never have. But I nearly
on that.
did.
I don't know why you would. I gotta side with Nick. This kind of sounds like a bit of Darwinism at play. Another interesting thing, we take a check down here. Were there other contestants with an OnlyFans account? And Rob here says, allegedly so. And here's the photo. While she was present at the second round of Mr. Beast Games, plaintiff spoke with other contestants who stated that they maintained their OnlyFans accounts, had not deleted them, and had nevertheless been allowed to participate. Plaintiff thereby discovered that the stated mandatory deletion requirement was false on or about August 19th of 2024. Deletion caused plaintiff to lose an established subscriber base, recurring subscription revenue, content library, customer goodwill, and the momentum of discoverability associated with the existing account. So yeah, I mean, they deleted. That would be like me deleting my account for the sake of going on like Wheel of Fortune. If they had told me I had to quit my job to do it, I wouldn't have done it.
I would never delete. I am toying with making a new account that nobody will know about and start a new life, recover online, but y'all will never know.
I'm kind of blown away. I don't quite understand where this person may be coming from here. Especially when it's making $60,000 a year. And then here, someone had mentioned, and this was actually
a
brought
lot
up
of money, at least
on Nicholas's stream
live.
as well. This lawsuit is called advertising. Rob responds, plaintiff's name turns up no results on Google. OnlyFans handle not mentioned anywhere in the complaint. If there's an advertising angle, it's not being deployed very well. So again, selling your body online for only $5K a month is crazy.
I'd sell my body on $5K a month. Nobody would buy it. Nobody would. And they would be right not to.
So yeah, that's kind of where we're at now. We don't really have any more information other than, yes, this is legitimate. Now, kind of reading it over and seeing that they've kind of made a point not to include the name of this individual, I will also not include their name. And if there is any further information that I end up finding very interesting about this lawsuit, I will let you guys know in the full video. I'll take a look at this after stream, go through the entire document. If there's anything else worthy of note, I'll bring it up in the video, so you'll get a little exclusive content in there. Editor Quinthio, I did end up going back through the case itself, and truly there is nothing more significant than what was covered originally by what I've covered so far in the video and what the other individual on Twitter had done. Just wanted to
Why is the frog talking
for you guys,
about
as
him?
I just said that I would go back and check, and yeah, truly nothing. So back to the video. Again, kind of mind-blowing that these people who are like, you're getting, you're gambling at a chance to win money in a game show, and they're telling you to quit your job. Like any of you, if Mr. Beast or an employee came up to you and was like, hey, you got to quit your full-time job just to go to the next round, are you doing that? Like, are you not going to ask questions? Like, is that not going to be something that weighs heavily for at least a moment, or at the very least is like that's a really hard choice to make. Like, I don't really quite understand that. She thought being in the games would boost.
So, why do we know why that happened? Why she was given that ultimatum / option. I don't know if you'd call it an option.
Her up sounds like that didn't happen. Well, I don't know Mr. Beast or his company to be one that's advertising anyone's OnlyFans, any of the creators that are on it. If anything,
Yeah,
that ends up creating
did
an
it
issue
happen?
for the Beast brand, since they're predominantly, you know, their audience, their audience is usually of a younger type. So having contestants that have OnlyFans accounts might be a bad thing for them. So if anything, it kind of is like, well, maybe there is weight to some employee overstepping and saying something like that. But again, that's still such a stretch. Like it really would be hard. It's hard for me to believe just right now that they did that and they weren't fucking around, because there were other contestants again that apparently had OnlyFans accounts and were not required to delete them, and they moved on. Editor Quinthio here, just kind of wanting to make a clarification on the point that I just made. Although I made the point that it would be tough for me to believe that this person,
I don't like his stupid fucking frog that comes up, okay? I've watched a lot of his videos. This is the only one with the stupid fucking frog.
is just messing around. I think kind of looking at it as I'm editing through this, it would be also, you know, equally as difficult for me to believe that this individual that had the OnlyFans was making this decision lightly, and just kind of running through that line of logic.
Oh, it's Saturday. We have a new Christian to go through. I completely forgot about that. Okay, after this, we're watching New Christian.
Truly by this individual that they're claiming, you know, was at the company that was speaking to them. I think they were truly convinced, and it was done so in a meaningful way, that they needed to delete their OnlyFans account to progress in the game show. I don't know if in that same position I would have the same lack of risk aversion that this individual seems to have, but maybe they were in a better position than I understand them to be coming into the Beast games. But I just wanted to include this point as,
Why
you know,
is there
listening
a
back to
milk
myself.
frog
I think there is a
here?
fair point.
Why is there a milk frog? Guys, I know there's somebody on YouTube watching. Why is there a milk frog here? There's 2 people on YouTube watching. Why is there a frog in a milkman's uniform here telling me shit? I know it's him going back after he's edited and doing another voiceover. Because these things... I used to get these things out in like an hour. But, anyway. That's probably why but what the fuck is with the frog in the milkman costume?
To the other side of this argument being, if these allegations are true, if their claims that they are making are true about what was told to them, that they
Like,
weren't making that decision
Make it
lightly,
make sense.
That's just kind of my first read of it was the opposite. But that's it. Back to the video. Not to mention, wasn't it like $1 million prize for winner?
Right.
It's stupid she deleted it, but the prospect of $1 million was on the table. Wouldn't you be convinced to do the same? If I'm up against 1,000 people, which I believe the first Beast Games was like technically around, if I was up against 250 people, no, I would not be convinced. I know I'm a YouTuber. I know I've tried to make this work, but I'm a bit more risk averse than that. That's kind of insane. And yeah, going into court, going to sue Mr.
I wouldn't
Beast's
delete my YouTube
company,
channel. Actually, I
wealthiest
wouldn't.
companies around, I mean, at least in entertainment, is quite a bold move to go for like an advertising approach. It might just be wiser to buy.
That's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. What the thing is. Bold strategy, Cotton.
Yes, no, I'm being told that Average Joe's does not have enough players and will be forfeiting the championship match.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
It's so ubiquitous.
No.
It's so, that is, to me, Dodgeball is such a recent movie, but I know it's not because I'm a fucking old ass person that's about to die. I'm 40. But that was like last week. I'm like, oh yeah, Dodgeball came out like fucking last week. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. No, that's like 20 fucking years old.
The advertisements and not go through this PR mess, especially when, like you said, they don't do a really good job of advertising their name connected to their OnlyFans account. Don't understand how delusional people are. Sure, that could be the case, that this individual is just delusional enough to think that that's the right move to make, but I guess we'll see. Only time will tell. So I guess we're just gonna wait on that court case. It almost sounds like she got fucked around with by an employee that thought it would be funny to make a joke about it or something, and then maybe they took it too far, or maybe they actually wanted her. I don't know. I don't know. It's a bit too vague as of right now. That brings this video to a close. Very curious to hear.
I don't know. I don't know. I've heard of all of this. I know of all of it. Something like that. This is going to be packed in the recesses of I'm aware of it but don't care in my mind. Yeah, I mean, a girl selling her OnlyFans account because she wanted to get to part 2 in Mr. Beast games. Fucked up if they made her do that. Then he got a lawsuit. She may be much more rich for it. I don't know what I don't know what she would be suing for. I guess it's the same thing as like, oh, you have to, I don't know, stop playing. What's the nerdy version of this? Stop playing Mega Man or you can't stream anymore kind of thing. Like, I don't know. I'm just thinking of something stupid on top of my head, off the top of my head. Yeah, like you can't do this. That's completely unrelated to this other thing. I think that's completely dumb, but I'm not gonna look at the GTA hacks. Oh yeah, the Christian thing. I guess we're gonna watch this. I know it's like 7:30 in the morning, but if you aren't already, then this is a thing. If you don't know who Christian is, I don't know how to help you with that. I don't. It's too much.
What made him this way?
It's way too much.
What is the attraction? What keeps us fascinated?
And this guy, I've already watched, he has 89 parts of this. I've watched them all. I'm a weird guy, okay? I'm a weird guy. But he has remastered all of these, added some new stuff in. So this is the part 23 remastered of Christian. It just, don't ask me who Christian is. You start from part 1. We've been watching it from part 1 all the way up. He releases these every Saturday. I guess it's 7:30.
This is the story of Christian.
And there are much worse lolcows out there. Christian's just the most documented. God help us.
On January 14th, 2010, Christian filmed a video in which he sings.
Okay, I like to chronicle my life also with his life because we have specific dates and sometimes times. January 14th, I was probably either in or getting ready for my next semester of grad school. In 2010, I was probably taking atomic physics and solid state physics. Okay, so having Glare in grad school, college setting, atomic physics, solid state physics. Let's see what Chris Chan is doing.
His own lyrics over a
and he's about 8 years older than I am.
Remix by musician Moby of the song Mr. Plow, written
Here we
for an
go.
episode of the cartoon series The Simpsons.
Say, what's the name? Christian Chandler. What's that
Right.
name? Christian Chandler.
Right,
What's the
exactly.
name? Christian Chandler. CHRISCHAN. Say, what's the name? Christian Chandler. You don't need to worry, I'm drawing here. Drawing in cone like pen and marker. My papa was chicken and named me Christian Chandler. Afternoon before the sunrise, I have a new page for you. Open your eyes.
This is
New
happening, by the
box, a
way.
big surprise. A hand-drawn art is quality, and that's no lie. What's the
He then attempts to play a
There
harmonica.
There are 3 of you here watching me watch this. I'm just asking what you're doing with your life.
A day later, he made a brief video for the attention of Jack Thaddeus, Alec Benson Leary, Sean August Watley, creator of the comic Sonichu is Dead, and regular contributor to the Asperpedia, and the webmaster for the aforementioned website, Mao Bamboo Ling, who was
That's
played by the same
Asperchu.
troll as Clark.
I could have any number of scientific facts logged into my brain, but I know what Asperchu. Any number of facts, or tabletop role playing games, or like a scale or saxophone or guitar or something. I could have anything occupying that mind space in my brain, but instead I know what the fuck Asperchu is. So that's the thing.
This message is for Alec, Sean, Evan, and even Mao. You know what? I dare you 4, all 4 of you, to come to my house and we'll see who stacks out better. The original or you crappy copiers?
On the 16th, Christian filmed a video attempting to brainwash his trolls by speaking a mix of Spanish and backwards English.
As usual, I will have 2 more pages tonight. I hope you all enjoyed the last page where Crystal finally got out of the mirror. But recently, I am reminded of an old Spanish expression which goes simply as "Tú necesitas ukrepsa eta y usino se va per ganar."
Need to hate Asperchu and love Sonichu to be happy.
Felicidad por vida. A couple of strong verbs in that statement. Say it with me. Ukrepsa eta. Ukrepsa eta. Ye usinos evil. Usinos evil. Alright. Stay safe and have a good day. Bye.
His spree of verbal assault continued into January 17th, when...
God. I'm gonna be real. My room is pretty cluttered, but like not. At least.
Under Vivian G's advice, Chris reviews the entirety of the Asperchu story so far and criticizes it.
I am here at this point recording this video to make it perfectly clear, although it was a bit of a mistake for that last video I made. But you know what? Regardless of that video, I should not have had to make such a video, because I could just show you all the evidence, as I have just read through the entire bunch of pages of Alex Asperchu.
You know, the original... What? The original, like, impetus, I think that is the word, of this video is, like, what draws us to this. It's just a fucking weird person's life. He's, on the whole, not... I don't... It's hard for me to say, like, he's not dangerous. But in the grand scheme of things, he's not, and it's just, it's crazy how many people have documented a particular individual, and it's like a, I don't want to call it a slice of life because that implies like, oh, it's a look into a regular person's day, but like, I don't know. This person again has been one of the most documented people ever recorded, like ever. Because like, look what we're watching. Like, there's 89 parts to this, and they're about an hour long. There's been nothing like that. Even fucking Ken Burns documentary isn't like. After this, we'll watch what is Chris Chan up to in 2026. I found a video.
First off, just to name a few things, there are the obvious.
Oh, but well,
Sturdy.
that's actually untrue though. So this is, well, like for me, I've been streaming for 10 years. Almost daily for like very multiple hours. So there is technically more than any of this multiple hours of my life on. But I'm a stupid person. I'm a divorced person barely trying to make it. You know? I'm a non-interesting person, let's say.
Slanders and obvious references to it. I mean, the old Buddha belly that I used to have, exaggerated man boobs, and even the
I got a little bit of a belly.
I had one time.
I'm okay with that though.
And he makes his Asperger character wear nearly every shirt I wear. Nearly every shirt. And a crappy copy of a medal. My shirts. And then to make matters worse, he goes and besmirches my dog by making a crappy copy of my dog. The spirit of Patty will have his soul for dinner tonight. She will be your nightmares, Mr. Leary. And of course, even including the unapproved recreation of my person within his pages, as you can see right here.
This is peak internet culture, by the way.
Even worse, starting on page C29, he sets me on fire. He sets me on fire. And then even worse, continues, let me be on fire on page 30. I swear, if that ain't the most outrageous thing that he has ever done against me. But I could definitely reference a few more instances of where he actually is considered peeing on himself within his own comic series. Start with, of course, with a few from his first book, of graphic.
Oh, nobody's here anymore. Everybody left, and they're right to do so.
On page 3 of his Zero book. Even worse off, on page 10, and while he's in that Burger King, with all his goddamn homosexual references as well. And he uses uncensored swear words such as shit and ass in between all of his books. So many goddamn of those. And his A and B books are anti-religious. Hello, son.
I wonder genuinely if his voice was different, like lower baritone. I want to say like mine, but I fucking hate my voice, and I don't know how whenever I talk to a new person, they don't instantly punish or like punch me, not punch me in the face. But I do think that I have like a little bit of a baritone voice while he talks like up here, that kind of thing. Like I wonder if he lowered his voice Because he's a big guy. Like, he should have some larger vocal cords that vibrate lower in the lower register. I don't know why he talks like the way he does, like in anatomy. But I wonder if that would have changed his life. You know?
Well, bitch, he's basically peeing on his own self. Now, look, I'll admit I have done my little share of nudity within my few pages, within a couple of pages, but they were censored by either images of lemon for vagina and bananas for dick.
Really, never heard of lemon for vagina, or if I have, I forgot it.
And that book was finally finalized and organized.
Why a lemon for a vagina?
So that it'd be appropriate for all those of ages, TVY7 and such.
That's a lot to take in. Okay, you're not showing lemons for that and having a book. A book? I don't know what the fuck he's talking about here. A book rated TVY7? Is that even a thing anymore? It used to be like for Saturday morning cartoons or something.
And if I ever said a swear word within my book, I would censor it. Now, he does not censor his own swear words. But like I said, he's basically gone to the things again. He's basically mocking me with the references of myself. Between the belly, the man boobs, the goatee, the glasses, numerous shirts, a fake medal, wearing a copy of my dog, an unapproved recreation of myself and my son and my characters, and even sets me on fire. And makes
shit everywhere. Like I have shit everywhere. I'm not gonna lie. I do, but like not on the walls. Like this shit is like creeping up on the walls into this like
his quote unquote Sonichu cologne go against me as not being the original creator of the original Sonichu.
You can't let it go.
He wishes he knows my Sonichu Rose Shoe and all my electric hedgehogs as well as I do, but he cannot because he is not me, the original creator. He is not me. So I'd send this message again to Alec,
100%.
Evan, and even Mao. I have less offense with Sean, by the way, but to those three, die in hell. And I hope the soul of my late dog eats at your souls and kills you in your.
So he's saying his dog is also in hell? I think it's pretty fucked up. I'm pretty sure his dog was, well, dealt a very bad hand in life, but god damn it, he lived as long as he did to make it through Christian, probably in heaven. I don't believe there is a heaven. Probably up there, not in hell.
Sleep. But aside from that, his book is the pages within the so-called Aspertube series. They are definitely ludicrous and horrendous and horrific. Even as horrific as within Vivian G's own book. And my pastor Rizzle.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna be real. You wanna look? You know, I have an Assassin's Creed boat there. I still haven't finished putting on the sails. Part. Saxophone, lots of magic cards there. Like, I have a very cluttered room. I don't want to say it's like dirt. Not definitely cluttered. But this is I don't know.
Elizabeth Foss, my pastor, has read the book from cover to cover, and she hates it. My reverend hates it. And I don't like it either because it is of disgrace and slander and mockery of my person and my character. Just about as much, but actually this is worse. The asperture and everything there, that is worse than that book. I'm sorry, Vivian, but
Crazy.
that book is just no good. And I'm definitely going to let my pastor know about the Asperpedia and the Asperchew, and through all the power, through her
What's the
powers within her church
Evenpedia?
and the congregation, and even the FBI, we will see you in Minnesota and take you down personally, Mr. Alec Basin Larry. Your mockery of my person is not appreciated. Other than that, I leave with most everybody else in peace. Have a good day. Except for you three, of which I mentioned earlier.
Shortly after, Asperpedia's Mao made a YouTube response video, but it has since been lost. Meanwhile, the Wikipedia sysop uploaded Mailbag 41 for Chris to address, but then soon after moved all non-Asperture related letters to mail.
You know, I really should do more music streams, but I can't do them on YouTube. Because I get a lot of people in here for that. It's so fucking hard to do it on YouTube, though, because YouTube is maniacal. Their copyright shit. I don't want to get like a copyright strike. Even if I get a claim, because I don't really make money from these videos anyway, a claim is fine. I don't really care if my video gets a claim. But a strike, like, I want to listen. I know it's stupid, but I want to listen. Ryan, stop. Like pawing at this. Stop. Like, I want to listen to the new Carly Rae Jepsen album, but I can't do it on YouTube. Everyone knows like Carly Rae Jepsen from like Call Me Maybe, but she has some like actual bangers, saxophone wise, like Run Away With Me and some like pop hits. I don't know.
Back 42, making 41 a completely Asperture
I can't do it
offering.
on YouTube.
Instead of
regardless.
responding to the messages
I wish
in
I
any
could.
way, Christian deleted all of them and wrote a 7-point manifesto in their place, proclaiming that he had no relation to Asperture or Alec Benson Leary, and wholeheartedly disapproved of his content.
Based.
Chris also noticed that Leary introduced more Sonichu characters into his Asperture comics, such as the Chaotic Combo, which led Christian to insert his own parodies of Sonichu parodies from the Asperture comics into his Sonic.
Look at these drawings, okay? This is the #1 thing that fascinates me with Christian. Because he has been drawing these comics since high school and or before. I think it was probably like 9th grade in high school. Go back and watch. Okay. I maintain the idea that if you were to give a person stranded on an island who could like survive and nothing else, like food and water, whatever that happens to be, if you were to give him a guitar for 30 years, let's say, which is about how long Chris Chan has been doing comics, maybe 40 years, and you did not give that person any kind of material, you just gave him a guitar that was tuned correctly, let's say, he would eventually get good, because that's the only thing that he could do is play that guitar, right? I think I've established like a base ground kind of thing. For 40 years, all he did was play guitar. The guy would eventually get better. Even if he knew nothing about anything ever, he would eventually get better. Okay? Chris Chan, on the other hand, and this is about 10 years into his comic drawing, there is zero growth here. That's fascinating. That's 100% fucking fascinating. That he's drawn thousands of these comics. There is not one iota of improvement on his part. That's crazy to me. It's like, oh, you practice 10,000 hours. Once you've hit the 10,000 hour mark, you're considered like a master. No. Chris Chan has probably done this shit like 30,000 hours. Zero improvement from when he began.
Sonichu comics, albeit with new names. He even introduced his own take on Asperchu, renaming him Mitch Sonichu. On January 20th, Chris made a drawing asking for people to help
really
Haiti
funny.
after it was devastated by an earthquake 8 days prior, though Alec Benson Leary had made his own commemorative advert a day after the tragedy, which had been featured prominently on the Wikipedia. Christian's drawing also subtly took a jab at Evan Christopher George, since it featured both Simon Chu and Simonle, touting them as a brother and sister team. On January 21st, Christian answered Mailbag 43. Chris addressed questions regarding a recent page of
I don't know why I'm so interested.
Issue 10, in which
I'm
Mitch
trying to go
Sonichu was suggested
over
that
it in
he should
my
get a
brain.
makeover and change his fashion sense for the better, when his appearance strongly resembled Christian himself. There was another correspondence with Evan Christopher George, who was told by Chris an elaborate story in which Evan's creation, Simonchu himself, personally spoke with Simone LaRosechu, who told him that she did not want to return to Evan. In addition, the rejected mailbag section featured a statement from someone who criticized Chris for declaring that Alec was not allowed to bring his Sonichu characters into his own story when Chris himself had never gotten permission from Sega
It's a
or
very
Nintendo to place their
Sonichu-heavy
original
episode.
characters into Sonichu. He also commented that the Wikipedia sysop had no say concerning advertisements, which were crucial in keeping the site running smoothly, and felt that Christian's hand-drawn on paper drawing style was inferior to Alec's digital style. Chris requested that he go f*** himself.
You know what? I'm okay with that. Big fan of hand-drawn, handwritten stuff. I don't know. Call me a Luddite.
In
I
addition,
guess.
he informed Vivian that he would attend his first young adult social club meeting, where he hoped he would get more exposure concerning his comic book work. It was during this meetup that he met a 23-year-old woman, who will be referred to herein as the Wallflower. During her first encounter with Chris, she told him that she was not ready for a relationship. Despite them establishing a friendship, Christian, against her wishes, believed that after some time and insistence, he could make her into his girlfriend. On January
But the girl, whenever they say that, you learn this in like middle school, if not before, probably middle school. I'm not ready for a relationship. It means that they're not into you.
22nd, Chris had his first phone conversation with Alec Benson Leary.
It's crazy that we have the
Christian Weston Chamber?
recording.
Yes, this is Christian. May I help you?
Hi, Chris. This is Alec Benson Leary. Is it okay if we talk?
Oh, yes. Sure, yes.
Okay,
So,
good. Well, there's a couple things I wanted to talk to you about tonight. First of all, well, I understand you've got a problem with the ads that are on Wikipedia.
okay, well, yeah, I'll let you have your ads on the Wikipedia, but don't make them too big, and leave them in the sidebar.
Okay.
I do not
So
want
this is
them
the guy that made
covering
Asperchu?
over the introductory box or anything else where I had to scroll down even to edit the pages or even to log in.
Yeah, my friend Mao, he actually makes the ads for me. I didn't make them myself, but I can try to talk to him about that.
Okay, how about this? Just to make it equal, put an advertisement for the Wikipedia on the Astropedia, about as much as the Astropedia ads for on my Quick.
Dude, imagine this. Okay, like go back 15,000 years, and our ancestors, which we are part of, we are related to them, are hunting like woolly mammoths with like spears and rudimentary bow and arrows and shit like this, like trying to get meat for the day to fucking survive. You know, we have hunter-gatherers like berry picking, like just trying to fucking survive. And then fast forward 15,000 years, which is actually not a lot of time on the grand scheme of things. And then we have this just technology, right?
Wikipedia.
Well, you'd probably want to contact Mal because he's my manager. He does all the the grunt work on Astropedia. I'm sure he'd be willing to sell you some ad space on Astropedia.
No, he said grunt work, not grout work. I call Val here. Like, he actually said
work on Astropedia. You want to contact Mal because he's my manager. He does all the the grunt work on Astropedia.
No, it's grunt
I'm sure
work.
he'd be willing to sell you some ad space on Astropedia. We could definitely try to work something like that out.
All right, well, Mal and I can talk through email. All right.
Like you say, we're on friendly terms right now, and I'd like to keep it that way because I got my start because of you. But to be honest, I want to be honest and frank with you.
F and B, fair and balanced.
You made a couple of videos, and I don't watch all your videos, but I do try to keep up. I mean, I spent a lot of time drawing the comics, so I don't have a lot of time to watch videos anymore. But I saw a couple of videos where you actually threatened me with physical
okay,
harm.
well, yeah, okay, well.
Also, the video where you wanted your dog to eat me
In
or
hell,
something
in
like
hell.
That.
That's very
dog
important.
to eat my soul. Like
Yeah.
the death threats were kind of scary to begin with, but that was just a start.
Yeah, okay. I'll take that back as well. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Kristen criticizes the creators of Asperchew for featuring blood and gore in their recent stories, and tells Alec to inform his readers in a disclaimer that Chris's Sonichu characters who appear in Asperchew are parodies.
Well, as you said, those weren't yours, though. You said those were copies. You said those were just, copies of.
Yeah. Your versions are just recreated facsimiles.
You're confused. I mean, you said in the comics that those were mine, but so they must be original, right? You said in the comic they weren't the chaotic combo, so they must be original. But then you came and took them. I don't get, and you renamed them, and and not just the combo, but you tried to retake my Asperchew.
All of this.
And Asperchew wasn't a copy.
All of this is
of
the
anything.
dumbest shit ever.
You renamed him Mitch Sonichu. I mean, Asperchew's mine. I don't really appreciate that. You accuse me of thievery, but then you go and try to take my Asperchew.
Okay, well, no, you did take my side.
I generally don't like to side on the way of trolls, but
And
I mean, he does make
the
it.
original one, and even worse, you made him brother to Asperchew with the homosexual tendencies and whatnot. Even when you drew the chaotic combo hedgehogs, you made Wild a homosexual when he is not.
Well, but
So,
that Wild's not yours. I mean, what does it matter if my Wild is gay? I mean, I felt it was depth to the character. I was just trying to give them a little personality.
Okay, well.
I mean,
aside from the
Asperchew is not.
Sonichu,
Asperchew has a girlfriend, Dixie Chew.
Probably
actually,
Dixie Kong.
I read further in the book, and Dixie Chew dumped his ass.
Well, no, she doesn't mean that. They're destined to be together, Chris. I mean, can't you see those undertones? I mean, that's where this whole comic is going. Even if a girl does dump
Why
him,
am I
what does it
watching
matter?
this
He
at
went after a girl.
8:08 in the morning?
He didn't go after a boy. like you said, Sonichu is his brother. I mean, why would he?
Why am I watching this at
even if
8
he was
o'clock in
gay,
the
why
morning?
would he go for
I
his
have no
brother?
life,
That's
guys.
That's just sick.
Yeah.
I mean, why would
Chronically
you-
online.
Okay. Well, listen. How about this? In your comics, when you in the future, or in re-referencing the past pages, the Sonichu that is Asperchu's brother, you just refer to him as Michael, and the wife you refer to him as Bobby, the Angelica, Trisha, etc. Just like I said in my
I used to do.
But
for sure.
And
After my
Nick
divorce, it
Jimmy
did not go
Chris,
well.
Nick-
Actually, it went well for a little
But
while.
Chris, those aren't really their characters' names. They have the same names as your chaotic combo.
Well, you see, when I gave the chaotic combo characters those names originally in my books, those would be their nicknames. They're all Sonichus and Rosechus individually, but they're just of different types. Without the nickname, he would be Grass Sonichu. Without the nickname, she would be Water Rosechew, Flying Rosechew, Fighting Sonichu,
Okay.
Sonic
I understand now.
Okay.
Can't wait
Okay,
to play the
I
video
understand what
game.
you're- Well, see,
Okay.
there's one of the differences though, because in my comic, those are really their names. I mean, Angelica, Punchy, Bubble.
No, you see, but those are actually.
I think this is important. This is actually really important. It's not important. None of this is important. But in the context of the situation of the bubble of importantness, this is the first time we've ever uttered or heard the name of Magi-chan.
Like a Punchy, Bubble.
No, you see, but those are actually their names in my book. In my book.
They're nicknames, you said. In my comic, they're their actual names. That's the difference.
No, I'm talking in reference to the Pokemon game. If you want to name your Bulbasaur, they call it giving it a nickname, but really it's just giving them their name.
Chris, my characters aren't Pokemon, though. I don't draw Pokemon. That's not how it works in my comic.
You have been drawing Pokemon. Sonichu is an electric hedgehog Pokemon.
I thought he was a Sonichu. I mean,
Sonichu
I thought that was like
electric hedgehog. I make it perfectly clear that Sonichu and Rosechou are electric hedgehog Pokemon.
What's really funny is that during all of this, the Pokemon Uranium has been building up. So we're arguing about this, but we have I've actually never played Pokemon Uranium. I know. Oh, it's up. Okay. I know Nintendo did a really big C&D on them. But yeah, dude, Pokemon is too big. Isn't it the largest franchise in the world? The largest IP? It is by total revenue. Pokemon's the highest grossing, most valuable media intellectual property in the world. People called it a fad, but that was not true. Very much. Insane.
Oh, okay.
Do y'all
Well,
want?
I think the point of confusion there is.
Would anyone want to
where
watch a Pokemon
I've never seen any
Uranium
Pokeballs
playthrough?
in your comic, or trainers, or any of those other Pokemon elements?
Yeah, okay,
Shouldn't they live in Pokeballs?
Okay. Yes, there's a Pokeball that specially catches Sonichus and Rosechou called the S-Chew Ball, and there is a reference to that within the books.
Sonichu lives in a house, doesn't he? I mean, he lives like a person who's training.
Well, you see, he was originally a wild Pokemon, the original Sonichu, but the original Rosechou was originally the Raichu that was caught and trained by the Pokemon trainer Kelly, Kel for short.
I actually didn't know any of that, but I digress. The point is that Asperchu and my version of the Chaotic Combo, all those characters, those are not Pokemon in my comics. I mean, Pokemon don't exist in the world of Asperchew. Like Asperchew, he lives with his grandparents in a house. I mean, he's a person.
Okay, all right, but still, it just makes it sound like my characters when you talk about these Sonichu from Quickville.
But they're not your characters. We've established that. They're not yours. I mean, they're my characters. It's original.
All
like I said, my comic is not a parody.
Okay, Sonichu, and Rosechu. I actually have paper registered copyrights on those. So I could sue you. But I'm trying to resolve this peacefully.
You have, okay, so you have...
Yeah, look under the copyright section on the Wikipedia.
But you said Sonichu is a Pokemon, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure Nintendo has the copyright claims of Pokemon.
That's actually untrue. It's Game Freak. Game Freak is not a Nintendo
I mean, it's a good point.
franchise.
I might want to just contact Nintendo just to make sure everything's okay, to make sure I'm not stepping on their toes. But...
They have been contacted before, and everything's okay, so you don't need to do that.
But, well then, I mean, how can you hold the copyright to a Pokemon?
Virginia Library of Congress has allowed me...
Wouldn't it, well, Virginia Library of Congress, can't tell Nintendo what to do. I mean, they can't tell Nintendo to just hand over copyrights to their creations to just anybody. I mean, Nintendo could take, the Virginia Library of Congress to court and say, hey, wait a minute, you issued this copyright illegal.
Okay, well, let's just, okay, this is, what we're talking about right now, it just seems pointless to what we were originally talking about. Let's just agree that...
Well, I don't think it's pointless. I mean, I'm just trying to establish that... I mean, you said you could sue me. I mean, I don't want to get sued. Nobody wants to get sued. But I just don't understand how you could sue me. That's what I'm confused on. I mean, you're confusing me, Chris. I mean, call me naive, but I just don't get exactly what you're getting at.
Okay, well, let's just rewind and go back to what we agreed on before, readjusting the advertisement size and giving me... possible Wikipedia ad on the Asperpedia, and just like the Sonichu in your book, as Michael Sonichu, and the other Sonichus and Roshus that of the non-KI combo.
Okay.
Let's just rename them by the names I suggested in my book. In your book.
Well, all right. Like I said, I'll talk to Mao about the ads. As far as the renaming goes, I mean, I guess you can include, you can make up some characters, Mike Sonichu and Mitch Sonichu and whatever. That's your comic book. If you want to create those characters, that's fine. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to rename my characters.
All right. Well, listen, the battery power on my phone is running low, so perhaps we could talk again another time. Well, you take care.
I'd like to talk to you.
Later that day, filmed a captain's log, which mostly focused on the controversial Mitch Sonichu makeover in Sonichu issue 10, which had some readers asking if this meant that Mitch was a homosexual.
First off, I want to give a shout out to the Portland Sonichu fan club, their president Megan, and their vice president Brad, who did this song that's playing on in the background. So it's me on CD here.
Looked like a 5.5-inch floppy for a second. I guess it's a secret.
Here, thank you. And also to Becky, who's doing a paper on me as a modern cartoonist. I appreciate that. Thank you. Anyway,
Becky, whoever the fuck that is, could get a fucking, doctorate. Actually, it would, be a doctorate in philosophy or something like that, but all of this ridiculous nonsense is completely fascinating. Hey, we got Pokemon Uranium.
I stand strong. I continue to draw the pages. Yes, they will be uploaded bulk. I mean, if I can't get 5 in a single day, then I'll still, I'll get them up.
If I can't get 5 in a single...
yes, they will be uploaded bulk. I mean, if I can't get 5 in a single day, then I'll still, I'll get them up the next day. But at least I'm doing the average of 2 pages a day. That stands strong. Anyway, also,
if this were true from now, if he actually did do 2 pages a day, and this was, fuck, dude, what did they say? 2010, 16 years. Let's do a little math. Fun math. So, let's say 16 times 65. That'll give us, so there's 16 years, 365 days in a year. That'll give us 5,840. Multiply that by 2. You could have had 11,600. Let's say, how long? Story pages 20 to 22. Ads 10 to 12. Really? A lot. I haven't fucked around with comics in a while. Let's go like 21. It says 20 to 22 pages. So there are 11,680 pages that he. So he has that many pages. Say there's 21 pages, and divide that by 20. He could have had 550, give or take. He could be on issue 550 if he did 2 for like ever. That's crazy. That is a hefty name under your belt. As we all dementia, who I guess is still alive. I actually don't know.
the makeover I did, I just received I just answered a new bunch of new bunch of messages in the mailbag. You know what? Look, I say this. Think about like on Home and Garden, the Learning Channel, even on Discovery, and even on MTV. There's such home remodeling, cooking cuisine, and myth-busting shows, and even Pimp My Ride. And would you call the people on those shows homosexuals for giving something else or somebody else a makeover? No, no, you don't. So that myth is busted. And also,
I know we have to get through some of the low parts to get to the high parts, like the Liquid Chris shit. That's peak. That is peak internet. But my coworker keeps telling me to look up Nova Online. I've seen whispers and heard about it a little bit.
I'll say what I said against Evan and those people on there.
The video abruptly ends, possibly due to the camera running out of power. He near immediately followed up with a short video to complete the captain's log.
Anyway, I'll leave y'all with that. And obviously the Asperpedia is going down because Alec and his crew are shooting themselves in the foot. I would never do blood and gore. That's just gross. I mean, if you're not queasy, then come back.
By the way, this medallion here, he's still wearing it. It's not great. It is one of the most vile things on
the science ship.
On January 25th, the Wallflower sent Chris an email listing her various websites, revealing herself to be an amateur writer. Her fanfiction pages revealed that she supported homosexual relationships and also incest, with many of her stories containing sex between family members. Christian commented,
well, that's not good. But seems to be where all of this shit is.
her on her skill and wished for them to talk over the phone soon, wanting to exchange more information about each other and wishing to meet again soon.
Alright, hold on. Mostly I enjoy drawing. Yes. Writing, playing video games, but I get out often for good exercise. And Guitar Hero. Wikipedia, most daily.
For the phone soon, wanting to exchange more information about each other and wishing to meet again
Yeah, not in the way that you would want it to be spoken.
soon, writing in part. Your laughter and voice sweetly thrills my mind like robins twittering their song after the sunrise. In another email, Chris informed her of the details concerning their upcoming future date, in which they would go to a concert to see Celtic Woman, an Irish music act, and afterwards would spend some time
Never
at a
heard of
nearby
it.
Taco Bell chain restaurant. He informed her that his mother would probably come with him to meet her, along with the wallflowers.
The guy is nearly 10 years older than I am. This was in... I don't know if this was still in January. Not quite sure of the time, but in 2010. I do know that. This probably happened when I was like feverishly doing a cyan and oh yeah, it was atomic and solid state. Probably while I was doing one of those tests, which was like 4 hours long. He was doing all this shit. Like it's wild how like different a person's life can
Own parental escort. The wallflower thought the idea sounded nice. Chris then expressed his wish that they kept the option of a relationship open for when the right time comes.
No. Anyway, I think this is the pickle guy. I don't know. I'm pretty sure we haven't seen that yet.
She then revealed that she was going to go to the concert with a friend of hers and offered to meet up some other time. All the while, Christian continued answering mailbags from fans, with uploads of new Sonichu pages becoming more spread out. In Mailbag 46, he defended his tardiness in updating the comic. I have been drawing and coloring on a daily basis. I cannot help it if I have a life to enjoy.
No.
Too. I have joined a young adult social group, and I have met a lovely woman there who likes me too. We are hitting it off like two hip wallflowers. You have a life too. Understand my needs and let me have my life.
Why am I watching this?
Another letter
At
highlighted the discovery
8:26
that the name
in the
Christian
morning.
Weston Chandler was an anagram for Antichrist Enhances World. And
Is that true? It must be.
Evan Christopher George made another appearance, telling him that he would take legal action if Simone didn't die in Chris's story. I'm not gonna just let it go because you're not a great director. You're a comic artist, and you have to deal with legal issues involving your characters when they arise. You can't pretend a lawsuit isn't imminent and just hope it goes away if you ignore it. This is serious, and if you don't do something about this, I'll have to take some drastic measures. We're keeping track. In Mailbag 49, when asked about whether then US President Barack Obama should repeal the "don't ask, don't tell" military policy concerning homosexuals to allow them more freedom and encouragement to join the army, Christian stated that the policy should be repealed so that more gay men could die in explosions.
Okay, yeah.
It was also around this time
That is absolutely insane from what we know now. We'll get there. We'll get there over the following weeks.
that he was linked to a fan forum called Sonichu Forum, where he conversed with presumed fans and answered their questions for about 4 days. On January 28th, Alec managed to get Chris to answer his phone to have another talk.
I would have expected to call at 9:30, but anyway.
I actually did try to call at 9:30. It didn't get an answer.
Oh, this
so
is the Asperger guy.
You're kind of a difficult man to get hold of, Chris.
It's a little bit of an arc, but nothing will ever beat Liquid Chris. It doesn't happen. Episode 20. I reacted
Try
to
not
it.
to belabor this conversation.
They discussed Chris's ongoing woes concerning ads on Wikipedia, copyright issues, and the problem Chris had with Alec's character being named after Asperger's syndrome.
Chris, we don't choose our names. I mean, our names are given to us. I mean, think of it this way. You know, the name Asperchu, if you think of that as a detriment, I don't, but you know, if you interpret the comic that way, think of it as a personal,
Pretty masterful trolling.
sort of character flaw.
I give it an 8 out of 10.
To work to overcome, and all good characters have character flaws. Sometimes characters don't always live the happiest lives in fiction, but that's part of what makes good fiction.
Yeah. But still, I mean, with that, think about it. I mean, what if your parents had named you Asper? Because they were, like, as if they could foretell you had Asperger. You would have Asperger's.
Okay, Chris, that's part of the, again, the character flaw. Asperchu has things weighing him down. He has curses, and that's part of what makes a good character. I mean, you wouldn't make a character that's just, you know, all powerful and you know, perfect in every way and has no real problems ever.
Ray from Star Wars.
Complex characters have problems that they overcome.
I mean, as an individual, within his own world, outside of your control, Asperger would not want that name. He would be in agreement with me and probably want to change his name to something like Mitch. Right? Have you ever watched the movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yes, I have. It's a good movie.
Yeah, you got the whole toon world there.
We're all in agreement.
And within that, it would coincide with the comic book world, and every individual comic, published or unpublished, drawn all together. And within that world actually would reside your Asperger. But he would be...
Oh, we're getting a little bit of hints of the dimensional merge here. Pretty early in the story.
He would hate having the name of Asperger.
We also got Magichan earlier. A little bit of a foreshadowing thing. It's crazy.
It emphasizes his mental problem. And he's like, in his process of wanting to move on from that and become more acceptable in society, that he would not want a name that would make him feel
okay,
like as if he's still living it, even after he's fully recovered from it.
Okay, but Chris, you know, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, that was still a movie, and everything in it was predetermined by the movie writers and the director. And I mean, there is no, you know, like
interesting
cartoon world in reality. I mean, cartoon characters don't actually think and feel things.
You obviously are naive about that because you're not understanding that possibility of that universe actually existing.
So you do believe that when an artist creates a cartoon character?
I'm actually hung up on the determined versus thing. AI says determined means an outcome is caused by prior events. Predetermined means outcome was specifically. They're the same word though. I've never even thought about that.
That character actually becomes real? Is that what you're saying to me?
Those are
universe, yes.
redundant words.
But the universe is fake. I mean, the Asperger universe exists on paper and in my computer. It's whatever I write it to be. Here's a question for you. If you think a character would want, you know, an appropriate name, a good name, not a name that, you know, calls them out on something or sets them back. Sonichu is the name of a species, correct? Sonichus and Rosechus, those are a species, right?
Yeah, but he was the first original Sonichu, and she was the original Rosechu.
But wouldn't they still want their own name?
And they each came up with their name on their own.
Yeah, that's like calling a person a human, like as their name.
They did not need a nickname.
I guess Pokemon does it all the time.
Would you be comfortable if the name Christian Weston Chandler, you know, didn't exist and you were just called man or person?
Okay, That's exactly what I just said.
Okay, well, still, what if you actually conceived a child with your girlfriend or wife? Then, would you feel that you actually own that child, even after you had raised it from being a baby to, let's say, late teenage years?
I have no clue where the fuck he's going with this.
Independent being?
Chris, you do
Like,
understand
no way.
that a child, a human being, is substantially more than a comic character, right? They're not the same thing. They're not even close. Of course I would name a child. Children are real, and children are not our property. I mean, if I had a child, I would give it all the love and support it needed, but it is its own person, or he or she, I should say. Whereas a comic character is just, it's whatever you draw on paper or in Photoshop.
What if what if she was on the other foot? What if Asperchu created?
So, like, I know this guy's a troll, so I'm trying to think of, like, the best retort against what he would say. I would say that it has a consistent narrator. It has a consistent, like, through line. So if you've established, like, the baseline, anything that follows after it needs to be consistent. Even if it's, like, magic or whatever. Like, magic usually in books can't just do in everything. It has some sort of, like, rule to it. That's what I would have said to this guy, but Chris Chan.
You.
Well, then I'd be a comic character myself, and I wouldn't have any thoughts or feelings. So that's a moot point.
You think that comic character would not have their own thoughts and feelings?
No.
Are naive.
Chris, you have told me that you think that a comic character is fundamentally as much of a person as a real human being. That is the naive thought.
No,
I'm the writer.
His arguments are so easily debunked, but this is so funny. Watch Chris.
I'm like the god of the Asperchu world. I decide what goes on in Asperchu's world. I decide who and what Asperchu is and what he thinks and feels, if anything, which he doesn't, because it's still just a character on paper. And when I put the pen down, Asperchu.
Be right back. I have to go use boys' room. That's a weird saying. The bathroom. Not gonna do that again.
Right.
All right. Back, baby. Did I gain followers or people watching? Okay, let's get back to this kind of like boring episode, but you know what? We gotta power through it.
Stops being there. Nothing exists in Asperchu's world that I haven't drawn. And it's naive to think that there's anything more. I think we should agree to disagree on this point, because we both have our own thoughts on it. I'm actually getting some letters about Sonichu, about why you're not updating daily, and I was kind of curious about that.
But he's doing 2 pages a day.
Updating daily. I draw a cover 2 pages a day.
Hey, look, I pay attention
if I don't have access
sometimes.
to my computer, or if I can't get to it right away. Besides which, my biological clock has been fickle on me. It's been making me fall asleep earlier.
Maybe we could get an alarm clock.
Dude, look at
I'm
these
just kinda confused
pages.
why I would spend an hour to draw a page, but not take the extra
You know what?
60 seconds to upload it.
You know what? I kind of want to go and look at all of these online, like his entire
to scan it and fit it in Photoshop.
series, I guess. I don't know.
It probably would take like
Repertoire.
half an hour for all that to work.
Ooh, half an hour. That's a
Did
lot.
Photoshop work with your pages? What do you use Photoshop for, if I may ask?
To change it from handwritten text to more legible typed text.
You know, if I remember right, I think kind of one of the criticisms you had about Asperchu was that it was not completely, you know, hand-drawn original. Because I do use Photoshop in part of my creative process, but it sounds like you actually do kind of the same thing. Which is, you know, that's fine. I mean, digital media is where, you know, the art world is going. But, see, I thought that you drew it all on paper and then uploaded it. That was it.
I did too, actually.
I did draw it all on paper. The only part that I edit in Photoshop is the text, what you read.
Well, yeah. It just seems a little hypocritical that you do use Photoshop in the creative process, but you criticize me for it. I mean, don't you think?
No, actually, what I thought is that you skip the hand drawing and you draw everything on your Photoshop with the computer mouse.
What I do, I use a tablet and I draw on that, and that's
It's
basically
so
the
funny.
same thing as pen and paper, except what I draw.
It's
just goes
so
right on the computer.
inconsequential.
So I don't use a mouse. It's the same.
Okay, but still, it's crappy compared to mine. Even my mother agreed.
Yeah. My mom says I'm cool, right?
Oh, hey, come on. That's a little insulting, Chris. What do you mean crappy? I mean, my mother says that my comic is, you know, the most beautiful comic she's ever seen too, but
There it is.
I have nothing to offer you but my love.
I specifically said no geeks.
But my mom says I'm cool.
Nick.
Okay. If I can put a Simpsons reference to it, you're goddamn right I'm going to.
I kind of think that's just because she's a supportive mother. You know, mothers are supposed to support their children in their endeavors. I mean, it's okay to disagree. I'm curious why you think it's crappy.
Because it's computer drawn. It's not originally hand drawn.
I just told you it is hand drawn. It's hand drawn on a tablet.
Yeah, he genuinely uses like a stylus or whatever. Chris is being a Luddite here. I wonder how they're doing the AI. We're gonna watch that.
I don't have the old-fashioned original pencil or pen markings. That's what I have.
So, because I don't have like smudge marks on my paper, is that what you mean? Okay, by
He's
comparison,
kind
can
of
I say
schooling
that,
him.
our car is not, you know, true original transportation because, you know, people should be using old-fashioned horses. I mean, you use Photoshop for lettering.
Actually,
but you're one
interestingly
of
enough, I know a little bit of trivia about this. Not that anyone will ever care, but the reason that we measure engines and horsepower is because people were so fucking afraid that automobiles would like supplant horse-drawn like buggies, carriages and stuff, that they named that power unit to ease the transition. That's why it exists. Horsepower, the only fucking reason why it exists is because people did not want to like convert to automobile in the early 1900s. Like, oh, it's 10 horsepower. You would need 10 horses to achieve the same thing that this engine does. I thought that was interesting.
Here, Chris.
Alec then brings up the issue of Simonla.
That Evan wanted me to talk to you about that, about using Simon Chew. You know, Simon Chew was his creation, and he used that without permission. And he's asked you several times to not to
all of
to
this
get
is
rid
the
of
dumbest
Simon
shit
Chew
ever.
and Simonla or whatever.
Yeah, but actually, Simona was never really inspired from Simon Chew. I took an original Rose Chew, I changed her to a ground color, gave her the complexion, added an armadillo shell, and then a few drills.
Dude, why does everything have to be a fucking
So
chew,
kinda
a
like how I
mouse?
took a Sonic and made him yellow and gave him a goatee and glasses and a Buddha belly, and thus was born Asper Chew. I mean, why didn't you just say that to Evan in the first place? Because he's been emailing you for a long time. Okay. Let's see. I'm looking at the Simonla page on your Wikipedia here. You say that about on or before August 26, 2008, I received an email from Evan George submitting his Sonichu fan art to me, then later submitted his idea for Simon Chew. It did not strike me as good at first, but for a few months I wanted to create a ground type. So from
These
Simon Chew, I
drawings are
created
wild.
Simonla Rose Chew. That's on the Simonla article on your Wikipedia. I mean, that's smoking gun.
This is him after drawing for like 15, maybe not that long. I think comics. It's pretty close to 2.
Chris, that's proof
A couple.
that you used Simon Chew as
Come
a
on,
base.
man.
You know, I'm not trying to attack you with this, but I really think this is evidence that you should get rid of Simon Chew and Simonla. Write them out. 'Cause the
Okay,
facts are
I'm
right
not.
there, Chris. I want to let you know that you do need to comply with Evan's demands, because you know he's talking about litigation, and he said that he'd back off if you acknowledge in the comic and write Simon Chew and Simonla out.
This was a pretty
and,
stupid
say that they were
episode.
done
He
and
wasn't like fucking his PlayStation 3 or doing like diss tracks with Liquid Chris, but you know, we gotta power through. Fine. You know a lot of more information that is beyond useless than you knew. Yeah.
I mean, would you be willing to do that? Write them out?
I'll think about it.
Okay, well, don't think too long. I mean, this is a serious issue.
Anyway, I'm getting tired right now.
Okay, well, maybe I'll let you go. You have a good night, Chris.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
As another creator managed to converse about the creative process with Chris, his peculiar attachment to his characters was made crystal clear. Quickville had become more than a hobby.
And it's gonna get so much worse. We are getting the little seeds that are being planted here, and then whenever like episode 70 rolls around, it just explodes, and it's this exact same shit that we're watching right now. It gets
more than an ambitious dream of stardom, even more than a way to live out his fantasies. In Christian's mind, at least, it had become a tangible reality, inhabited by living, breathing cartoon characters. For as he had stated before, Chris was truly young at heart.
Sure. Okay. So I tried out my hand at drawing one time. Like, okay. The photos that I'm going to put up here are effectively 2 or 3 days after I decided I wanted to like learn anatomy and learn on everything. So from my stick figure zero skill knowledge to this is about 3 days. I'm not saying they're great. All right, I ain't trying to like win awards or anything. Just saying. This was me in college pretty much when Chris Chan was doing all of this. Maybe 2010, 2011, around there. It's like he never picked up like a book or anything. It's a bunch of Link Zelda shit. But yeah. That's my Link. I think it looks pretty okay. Here's a Zelda that I drew. Kind of looks Egyptian, maybe hieroglyphic kind of thing. That's and then I think this is the earliest portrayal of my D character to play with. This is again, this is like 3, 4, 5 days after getting an art book and like learning like the eyes go in the middle of the head. And then we have Christian. I'm not saying I'm better, but like, am I not a little better? Oh yeah, and I have some cosplay things that I wanted to do. I wanted to make a Hylian Knight Paladin for a high roll. So I had all these things mocked up. I did these myself. Like a Paladin shield. I think that was like the breastplate. These were, I think, epaulets or like shoulder guards. They'd have to be bent, obviously. I think these were, what do you call them, like armlets? No, these were the shoulder. Anyway, I have a little bit of design under my belt, kind of. That was like the original. It was one of those, but oh, there's the full. Can't believe I still have that. This shit is like 16 year thing. Oh well. How is everybody doing this? I'm gonna watch another one. Okay. This was 6 months ago in the grand scheme of things. Still.
What made him this way? What is the attraction? What keeps us
Okay, aping the style. I'm already hooked.
fascinated? A wise man once said, many times. For over a decade, Chris Chan was the internet's favorite horror
I'm okay
show.
with that.
The most documented lolcow of all time. The Sonichu guy. The trolled to insanity cautionary tale. But in 2026, no epic meltdown. No grand finale. Just a 40-something ex-YouTuber
Through the background music. The background music, sorry, it's a burning memory, I believe, everywhere at the end of time. By the way, if you haven't watched that or heard it, if you want to go on a 6-hour journey, but maybe watch or listen to the first 3 albums. The third one gets a little bit weird. That's the background music that he's playing. The whole impetus for the project is documenting a person's slow decline, and which is incredibly follow about. I think it does amazingly well. The like audio.
Wandering between Walmarts, card shops, and extremely schizophrenic Twitter posts while everybody quietly moves on. The reality is, Chris Chan is boring now, and that's exactly why this is the last
100%.
chapter. This video is about how Chris Chan fell off.
I'm down for it. I want to hear it.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, and dudes of all teenagers.
Yeah, I think every single person watching this video already knows who Chris Chan is, so I am not about to rehash every single saga of this man's life. You can go watch Geo Samuel if you'd like to see that. This video is going to be more about why the show is over, how Chris Chan fell off from relevancy, and why this is probably for the best. Now that
I think whenever the body cam footage surfaced, that was it for Christian. No. I'm gonna say maybe the Keffels interview, which is a whole other thing. But I think the body cam shit came out afterward, and that was the big spike in popularity, and then downhill from there.
That being said, I'm probably still going to have to give a brief recap on this guy, so if you don't want to see that, then here's the timestamp.
How do you give a brief recap?
You already know.
How do you do it?
Autistic kid in Virginia makes Sonichu, gets discovered by a bunch of early internet forums, and in the mid-2000s being discovered by 4chan and Encyclopedia Dramatica as well, and becomes the LOLCOW template. Some people consider him to be the very first LOLCOW. Without a shot.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe?
Shadow of the doubt, he is the most famous.
Do you count me? Like Charlie Bit My Finger, or the internet Star Wars guy? I guess they weren't like continuously feeding, so nobody could milk it. So probably not LOLCOW. Chris Chan? Hold on, let's ask AI. Was the first Chris Chan? Okay, AI says Chris Chan. You know, as much as I don't like AI, it at least Google's AI response gives me a link to the source in which they're getting it from. So yeah, Chris Chan.
Found the most well-known, even having his fair share of references in mainstream media, such as the Sonic Boom cartoon and Smiling Friends.
Do you realize something? If we fail this inspection, we could lose our office, and we'd have to move out of it.
Years of trolling escalate from prank.
Wait, what? How did that reference Christian?
Calls and fake girlfriends into full-on psychological manipulation, doxing, and constant harassment campaigns. Then 2021 happens. The leaked phone call where Chris openly describes sexually assaulting his elderly mother, and the incest threats that.
So he's going like for basic 1 millimeter skim off the top of the pond kind of thing.
Turns the internet clown into an actual sex offender. This is the point where Chris Chan went from a LOLCOW to what is known as a horror cow. LOLCOWs that have committed some very atrocious crimes against humanity.
I'm not familiar with the vernacular.
Chris is arrested in August of 20.
Oh yeah, there's a new like Cyrax video. That guy, man, Nova Online, Cyrax, all of these people have effectively like dethroned. I don't know if you can dethrone Chris Chan, but they've risen above Chris. Chris Chan's like the big iconic LOLCOW, but there are some way worse people.
2021, held in jail, then sent to a Western State hospital after being found incompetent to stand trial. After about a year of bouncing between jail and psychiatric care, Chris is declared competent and the case quietly moves forward. This is the point where, historically, you'd expect a high-profile trial, wall-to-wall coverage, and some massive meltdown. But that did not happen.
Okay, this is what I'm here for. I don't know anything about this.
What were you doing when Chris Chan got arrested? Because I sure as hell remember. Just like how people remember exactly what they were doing or what they were wearing
during 9/11. He's gonna say during 9/11. Weirdly enough, he's right. I was on my couch watching my TV in Fort Worth, Texas, which I no longer live there, but I remember that. I remember the people like going online. I forgot who it was. I don't think, but could have been. But they were like taping the whole thing. It's
during 9/11. I remember that me and my cousin went out fishing and I had landed the largest largemouth bass I have ever caught in my life. Then I go home and I found out that Chris Chan fucked his mom and now he's in jail. So I want y'all in the comments to tell me if...
You know what? It's refreshing. How many subs do I have? 2,000? Pretty small time, but you know what? I'll give him a sub. I'm just happy that he didn't fucking bleep that shit out.
If you remember what you were doing when Chris Chan got arrested. Anyways, back to the video. After almost 2 years inside, Chris is suddenly out. March of 2023, Virginia's Vine system shows that Chris has been released by court order, and jail confirms that there is no Chandler in custody. Fact-checked independent American patriots confirm that yes, the literal motherfucker is no longer in jail. On August 8th of 2023,
I think it's disingenuous to just say that. That in and of itself is terrible. But his mom, their mom, whatever, the person's mom clearly has dementia. Go look back at some of the more recent episodes, like beyond, I'd say like 2020, 2019. I think. Regardless, fucked his mom who has dementia. It's not.
The incest case is dismissed under an autism-related deferred disposition arrangement, meaning that the court basically routes it through an alternative process because of Chris's autism and mental state. Yet another W from our justice system. Don't you love it? Hide your boyfriend-free grandmas because Chris Chan is on the loose.
They are
it's
rare.
kind of similar to what happens to people like Daniel Larson and Cyrax, where pretty much nothing really happens to them when they get charged.
Yeah, we gotta catch up on Cyrax. Hold on. Wait, I missed a episode from Chris Chan? Holy shit. Okay, we got a bunch of shit.
Charged with pretty bad crimes. They always just have some kind of metaphorical plot armor that God just gives them for some reason. You know, it's like that quote from Fear and Loathing. Too weird to live, too rare to die. They have pretty much nothing
Not
to
that
look forward
anyone
to in
cares,
the free world,
but...
yet they're kind of just thrown out of jail for some reason. And the biggest reason as to Chris's fall off from relevancy that you're going to find in this video is he really hasn't been doing a whole lot. You know, there really just isn't much to talk about, and, you know, he's been kind of cited like Bigfoot everywhere. Like, there's these pictures that come up, and it's clearly just people taking pictures of him in public, which, by the way, don't do that. That's fucking weird. But anyway, that's basically all there is. So there was like a point in time for like a solid almost a year where we knew almost nothing about what he was doing. Basically, all these cow tubers who were previously just rolling in it from making all this Chris Chan money, they basically just had to speculate for a pretty long time on his actual whereabouts, you know? It was definitely a strange change of pace. But yeah, anyways, once Chris was free, the quote-unquote lore drops turned into something that would have been completely unremarkable about 10 years ago. It had basically just been like how Chris Chan was in the 90s. You know, people would take pictures of him doing random things in public, mostly just playing trading cards, doing stuff at game stores, and being out in public. However, there was a key detail that made Christorians go wild with speculation. A recurring blonde woman, later known as Flutter, appears with Chris in multiple sightings in 2020.
I thought it was like Flutterbee or Flutterby or something.
And 2024, from local restaurants and airports to even trips abroad.
Oh yeah, and didn't she, I guess we'll probably mention, didn't she say she like something? That clearly like never happened, but
by late 2023, it's confirmed that Chris had his own car again, and he was basically just driving around and living a low-budget, deeply unexciting life. You know, that's honestly kind of relatable. In 2024,
kind of
Quickie logs
relatable,
multiple
yeah.
sightings of Chris out in public,
man.
while emphasizing that his online presence was heavily declined compared to the 2010s. Threads and posts about him were increasingly read like, "Saw Chris today, he bought snacks, that's it." He isn't streaming epic freakouts, he isn't responding to all the trolls, he's just standing in line at Sheets like anybody else. Also, another thing, Chris Chan...
This actually is a pretty good lesson. If you ignore the trolls, they'll go away. He should have done this 25 years ago, in the early 2000s. Didn't. That's why we have the content that we have, but amazingly enough, not responding to trolls worked out. Fair enough, you know. Good, I guess, but you should still be in jail.
And has kind of gained a huge spike in notoriety pretty much ever since the whole Geo Samuel documentary came out. Gamer from Mars also made another very successful documentary,
which we're about to watch. I completely missed this about a year ago, because Gamer from Mars actually got to go to Chris' house, talk to him, and shit. And we've had an update a year ago.
Series on YouTube, and that definitely exposed a lot of people to Chris Chan.
Boy, I'm gonna. Okay, now I just feel like I have to do this. First time in here, I feel like I gotta do this. Hello, my name is Apu. I went to
No. You don't have to do that.
But it was 100% this 2021 incest situation that put him in the mainstream. And with that comes a bunch of people from TikTok that know absolutely nothing about Chris Chan that want to be the next Clyde Cash. There are a bunch of unfunny weens that have absolutely nothing better to do with their lives. Not even troll someone like Daniel, who definitely deserves it. However, I will say this, I think it is pretty surreal and kind of creepy that Chris Chan just kind of became this cryptid that you could just see out in public. You know, if you're in like anywhere near the Northern Virginia area, there's a good
Chris Chan has entered cryptic status. That's wild. We can only dream for ourselves that we enter cryptic status.
chance you could run into this guy. That's not me saying you should go out and track him, but, you know, just be aware.
I see. The Kiwi Farms people are in the
Keffels, yeah.
mass reporting.
So, yeah, the whole Keffels arc. Now, I know super fucking controversial. Really? They stream periodically. Okay. All that shit went down in 2022. If this is to be believed. Wikipedia has outdated information. Wait, here we go. The most recent thing is March 2025. Ooh, and they announced on Blue Sky that they're gonna... Okay, interesting. Little rabbit hole to go down.
The Keffels Saga. I bet you haven't heard that name in years. Keffels was another online figure who has relentlessly trolled on Kiwi farms, even leading a campaign to get the farms taken down, which succeeded in late 2022, although the site went back up. However, you may ask, why is she getting trolled so bad? Granted, targeted harassment is never
a bunch of
justified,
shit.
And unfortunately...
Bunch of shit. I forgot what it was. It was stupid, I think. Don't go down this route, guys. I'm telling you. Don't do it. It's not good for your mental health, but, you know, I'm up at 9 in the morning.
She was the victim of a swatting.
Do not be
why
like
was
me.
Keffels so hated? Surely it's because she's a trans woman, right? Well, that's not the full story.
Yeah,
in 2024, Keffels was exposed for not only having...
Actually passable, too, to be fair. I mean, all a fade. But all the other shit surrounding that individual...
a Discord server full of minors, but also selling estrogen to minors behind their parents' back, all in order to groom them into transitioning genders. Since then...
That is crazy. Out of her
minors behind their parents' back, all in order to groom them.
Holy shit. I'm learning stuff that I never even want. Still don't. And that's like legit marketing. Holy fuck. Okay. Okay. Let's keep going.
Into transitioning genders. Since then, her and her husband tried to raise money for a GoFundMe in order to relocate and sue against harassment.
Right, they kept
Keffels
bouncing
decided to
back.
embezzle over $100,000
like
and
Canada,
proceed to literally spend that money on drugs,
France,
among other things that were not
know.
a part of the legal fund. And overall, it was just a massive shit show in 2024. Now, this is not a video about Keffels, but how she became relevant to the story was the fact that in her campaign to take down Kiwi farms, she held an interview with none other than Christian Western
Yeah,
Chandler,
I watched
another
that live
innocent
actually
trans
on
goddess
the
who was
channel.
bullied by the evil alt-right chuds. Basically, this entire interview is what you expect. Chris going off on his usual delusions of grandeur, Keffels ignoring the fact that she's platforming a literal rapist, and just Chris's usual narcissistic sob stories, and that
I don't... Controversial hot take. I don't think having a person on your show is platforming them for the shit that they believe. Is that a weird take? Tell me if it's a weird take. Because, like, my ideology, and I have a really fucked up ideology, I get it. But I watch like a lot of, not a lot, but I'll come across like people dying and shit, like the IDF killing Palestinian babies and then making fun of them. And people are like, why do you watch that? Because you need to. You need to. And then people are like, you know, I don't need that. I don't want to see that. I can imagine it. No, you can't. You absolutely need to see this. So, if you're, like, that's a pretty extreme example. But I know Mike Klum has been getting a bunch of shit because they're like, oh, he's EP445. He's platforming a pedophile. Like... not platforming. He's not people aren't giving their praises to them. They're documenting the life of that person. It's not a platform. And I don't know. I really get fucking triggered, I guess, whenever people say, oh, you're platforming a pedophile or this or that. No, you're just showing people what kind of heinous shit is out in the world. It's not a platform. Well, maybe it is a platform, but people want to platform good things. But I think it's arguably more important to platform the bad thing. Weird. I don't know.
He doesn't deserve all this backlash. Though through the whole interview, you'll notice that Chris has a very detached way of conducting himself, which is a pattern that you'll pick up on pretty much all of his clips leading up to and after his release.
Looking back, do you have any regrets?
I think this is... I said earlier that the police cam footage was like the most damning thing. I think this is really the last big thing that I watched Chris Chan do. I believe that's true. Pretty sure.
Well, I'd say just essentially let myself fall for the theoretical X's, as I call them, and let them do me over. The blue spike that held my PlayStation Network accountable and saw the loss of Sanchi Medallion number 2. And I do appreciate that, they had to help shape and develop me mentally and emotionally so I could have that damage within me to be stronger and more ready for it in the longer run. So I could actually finally do something about it within present tense in the recent years, especially after I managed to clear my mind over the past couple of years. So every blessing counts.
Also, not gonna lie, something I find pretty funny about the whole interview is Chris clearly is not trans. In other news, water's wet. We've known this for a very long time. By his own admission,
yeah, the trans community disavows him. I don't really.
He says he has done it to hit on lesbians. And there's a really funny part of the interview where Chris
Nobody
goes on about how the trolls used to send him gay shit back in the day. And this is right after Keffels is talking about getting doxxed and shit.
Yeah, all the homophobia. I mean, I was affected by that as well. And then just the trolls on the internet bullying me and thrusting gay images on me
Thrusting. That's a good word. I need to use that more.
When I had the Wikipedia and the individuals behind that, they just put them on the sides, these gay boy ads lead to porn sites or whatever. Just
this guy who is supposedly a woman just cannot cope with the fact that people joke about him being a homosexual. It seems like your logic's a bit backwards, my guy. I think trying to become a woman by eating a bunch of estrogen and dyeing your hair blue and doing some unspeakable things to your own body, I think that's a whole lot gayer than just seeing some gay shit posted on your website, but who am I to judge?
We will be sending hormones to dudes of all teenagers.
To say that people grilled Keffels for this interview was an understatement, as this was one of the many reasons people used against Keffels when she went through her drama on the internet. Let me be clear about what...
Hold on. I don't remember the year. 2022? Maybe 21?
One of the many reasons people used against Keffels
no idea.
when she went through her drama on the internet. Let me be clear about what just happened. Keffels literally scraped the bottom of the barrel, getting a literal incestual rapist to come and defend her on a show just because people were saying mean things about her on the internet. Although, despite the criticism that she got for platforming a literal sex offender, she didn't really succeed in giving Chris any momentum, which in all fairness would be impossible given Chris's Godzilla-sized digital footprint. Instead,
I genuinely just do not agree with the verbiage of giving them a platform. Because that means that you endorse something. and don't work. And people don't realize.
This just gave us more Chris fatigue. It proves that there's nothing new here, just the same old delusions in a slower, emptier package. Only this time, it's like he's being dragged with the social movement just so someone would listen to his incoherent ramblings. Now, another thing to happen, later in 2024, was definitely something that spiked Chris Chan's relevancy, and it all came from one of his otherwise boring live streams.
Okay.
When the child is actually coming into play.
Oh yeah, the kid thing with the Flutter bee or whatever. He called him Flutter, but I'm pretty sure people call them Flutterby. Some fucking Pokemon or something.
Or somewhere around that point. Or I just might keep y'all in the dark and let y'all know it wait till after the child is born.
When somebody donated to him on a live stream, by the way, this guy's a fucking loser, I don't know why he'd give money to a sex offender, he asked Chris Chan when he was going to announce that he was having a baby, because apparently this person had some insider knowledge that nobody else knew. And Chris decided to give an alarmingly vague response. Now, of course, as you can imagine, everybody lost their shit when they realized that Chris Chan could be possibly having a child. And for good reason. This guy is just about the least qualified person to be raising a child. Along with the fact that he has said some pretty disturbing things about his own hypothetical children in the past. But alas, nothing came out about this. There is no evidence that him, and presumably Flutter, were having children.
Who? There must be some woman out there for me. Because if Chris Chan is getting the millennial, getting his Mac on, it is wild. I am on the lower tier totem than Chris Chan at this point. That is the most depressing shit I've ever thought about. Oh, god damn it.
And thankfully, that ended up being the case. And also, I think it was obviously just bullshit. Chris is the most unreliable narrator ever. He's literally deranged. Although I think the concern is justified, he is definitely not having children. This is just one of his delusions. And I think, I hope, whoever Flutter is knows about this and does not let it happen.
You've written those smut fanfiction. You shipped me with
let's go. Decline.
You shipped me with that snow lights.
For a long time, Chris wasn't just a lolcow. He had become a horror cow, as I mentioned previously. Obviously, the biggest horror cow event that he had ever done was Boinkin' Bar.
This webcam footage is epic. In all regards of the word.
But also, there were jail letters about him being a literal goddess, dimensional merges, and cosmic delusions that turned the story from goofy to genuinely kind of unsettling. Both for those who are uninitiated with Chris and for historians alike. And most importantly, some of these letters even confirmed the sexual abuse of his mother. This had stopped.
I did not know that. That is a new development. Not great.
After being a funny train wreck and became
like I knew it, and I heard him confess with that what was her name, Jackie or Elizabeth Jackie or something. He was like, "Oh, I did it just to and get out of the conversation," but him writing it down, not great.
Anyway,
I did not know that.
It's a depressing reality that there is no cure. No redemption arc, and no entertainment value left that doesn't look like punching someone who's already been completely broken. Also, Chris definitely isn't very free anymore. As I mentioned, he has some caretakers, known as the Praetor Group, and to be honest, we really don't know a whole lot about them, and that's for the best. they've definitely got Chris down on lock and key, and they realize that unfiltered internet access for him really was never a good idea. All of the trolling definitely shaped Chris and who he was. Not saying that it wasn't justified, or that he isn't worthy of criticism, but you know, it definitely didn't help. And also the fact that his parents did not know how to handle a child with autism, especially in the 1980s. Also, given the fact that they did not understand the internet, and there was a large generational gap between them, which is not good for a child with a social disability. Chris Chan wasn't just a lolcow, he was a historical artifact of a very specific internet. The quickie and decades of forum threads have turned him into one of the most obsessively cataloged individuals alive. Every forum post, every Facebook rant, every weird drawing, archived, timestamped, mirrored across wikis and forums. This simply just can't happen again, because platforms are more aggressive with bans, privacy protections, and content
This
nukes.
is true.
Sites like
It's
Kiwi
actually
Farms
true.
have been deplatformed and pushed to the margins, as seen with Keffels. Also, another thing, the internet was a much more toxic place back then. I'm sure any of you who have survived to see
Call of Duty lobby, Halo 2 lobby. They'll never bring it back, but I want them to. So incredibly bad. I would absolutely love an Overwatch in-game lobby to see the fucking insults and slurs and shit hurled. It'll never happen, but it should. Come on, indie people, get that game going.
Modern
Come on.
Warfare 2 lobbies know just how toxic that shit was. Now we live
I
in a
never
day and
played
age where you
Modern
can just mute
Warfare
people who are harassing you.
or any
You
Call
can
of
instantly
Duty
ban if you
beyond
even
like the
troll
first.
anybody. And cyberbullying is a much more known phenomenon now, and there are measures against it.
Did you know consequences will never be the same after this? He was right. R.I.P. Jesse Waters' dad, who I forget the name of. It was kind of right. That was a moment on the internet, and consequences weren't the same. At least when you get caught.
And it's taken way more seriously. I don't know about you, but if you were like me and you were in public school in the 2010s, cyberbullying was a major issue that they talked about, and they drilled it into our heads that it was not acceptable.
I actually have no idea what people talk about in high school. I've never taught high school. God willing, even though I'm an atheist, God willing, that I never will have, because I don't think I could genuine. No way.
These
No
are
freaking
changing
way.
times. Also, another thing, all of these forums that Chris Chan were on are pretty niche now. Kids aren't really using them anymore. If they want to bully a lolcow, they'll probably just do it on TikTok.
We're gonna have to watch a Nova Online thing. My coworker is also into all these lolcow things, and the Nova thing, I don't know. I know about Cyrax. I know a little bit about Daniel Larson. Got released from jail. Like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I would say, like fairly recently. I have no idea who this is. But these two, yeah, we're gonna have to take a deep dive.
However, back in the early internet, forums were extremely popular, and they were kind of your go-to source of social interaction. Point is, all the modern lolcows are interchangeable clips, while Chris Chan is a 20-year-old case file. You'll still get your weirdos, freakouts, and manipulative
Fair enough. Like, that's what I was saying, is like Chris Chan is the mainstream audience lolcow. Because Cyrax and Nova Online completely, I don't want to say rise above it, but total different branch of fucked upness.
trolls. But you'll never ever again get a single person whose entire adult life is documented, cross-indexed, and narrated in real time by thousands of upset strangers in the way that Chris's was. Now honestly,
He had me until obsessed thousands of strangers. Because I guarantee you I have way more content out there than Christian. I'm just boring. I'm streaming to like literally nobody's interacting with me, which sucks, but you know, is what it is.
This isn't really a good or a bad thing. It's just the reality of how the internet has evolved over these years. I think we should be thankful because a lot of the shit that we knew about Chris Chan, I think a lot of us would rather not know. Plus, I genuinely cannot think of a bigger waste of time than just reminiscing about Chris Chan. Honestly, there's much more.
Okay, great. I'm glad that you said that at the 4-minute near the end of the video. I mean, he's right. Like, what the fuck are we? It's 9:30 in the morning watching a guy talk about Christian. Where did I go wrong in my life?
Productive things I could have been doing with my time than just sitting down and making this video. I could have made a video that taught you a useful life skill. I could have made a video about my
I could make a video. Oh, you know what? That might be an interesting idea. To make a video about different chords on the guitar. Like a 5-minute video of playing A minor. And then probably wouldn't be like a 5-minute. Or maybe it would. I don't know. I could tack some songs on at the end that have that chord and have people like play that chord whenever it comes up. And then I could do it for like all the open basic chords. And then we graduate to the bar chord. I don't think a video has ever come out and done that for a YouTube channel. They all kind of like try and squish it together. But what if I made a single video about a single chord and where it comes up in music? That could be good. That could be really
cute little lizard. I could have made a video about anything other than this predator, but here we are.
Sure.
Yeah, I know. But this is of importance because we gotta protect this space bridge.
Damn right, this is him.
Now the saga of the so-called most documented man in...
Okay, to be fair though, what I came in here for was some clips about how he's not relevant. Not just saying, oh, in 2021 or whatever, 2023, he became irrelevant. But like how? Like I want to see clips and shit.
History did not end with a bang. It fizzled out. It ended with a whimper. The incest case was dismissed via an autism-related disposition instead of a cinematic trial. Not too different from P. Diddy. Although Chris just straight up wasn't sentenced. Chris just wanders around Virginia, occasionally leaving the country, having some weird relationship with Flutter, shilling half-baked projects, and making old forgettable streams. His channel now is more focused on making Transformers.
I guess this is what I wanted. Expected more
videos, as that's basically all he's uploaded within the past year. The hardcore watchers are still there, logging sightings and archiving posts.
That's us. That's you and me. Whoever's here. You're watching this because you have nothing better to do.
But as a whole, the broader internet has moved on. The most cataloged lolcow of all time is now, functionally, a background character. No one's refreshing the thread for the next big saga, because the big saga is finally over. And in a messed up way, that's probably the only ending this story could have. Not a dramatic redemption, not...
Chris Chan is not dead yet. You cannot proclaim the end. I've seen way weirder shit happen.
What a shocking finale. Just a boring, lonely, quiet afterlife for someone who spent 2 decades being watched like a zoo animal. And to be honest, I think Chris should be very thankful of this, as all things considered, he got off pretty easy. You know, I guess for an analogy, Chris Chan's life is sort of like the life of a used Honda Civic that was driven way past what it was built for. It started out as a harmless beater owned by old people, Barb and Bob, before the teens, the internet, got the keys, gave it too much boost, and thrashed it for years until the engine finally blew up. Now, it doesn't race, it doesn't crash, it just sits like a faded lawn ornament. Something people glance at and say, hey, remember that? And they move on, soon to see itself in a
Not
junkyard.
wrong.
So
Actually,
is the story
pretty
of
apt
CWC.
comparison.
Now, this video is not me defending Chris Chan in any way. Quite honestly, he's a pretty shitty person. He's a narcissist, and above all else, he is a sex pest that has turned into an incestuous rapist. However, what I am saying is this era is over. The people who are made fun of online will have their moment in the limelight, and they will eventually fade out, or alternatively, they will be like World of T-shirts and turn it into a successful brand. Or, the third option, they eventually go to prison. There really is no in-between. Because of this, I don't think I'll be making any more Chris Chan videos in the future, unless something crazy happens, of course, which I doubt will be the case. However, I am open to talking about other lolcows, so if you guys would like to see that, please leave some suggestions in the comments below, as well as any video ideas or
very interesting. Yeah, we gotta watch the game tomorrow. It is quite long. I boot up a game.
The reason I went to jail.
But I will be right back.
The charge I was charged with, I was innocent. There never, ever, ever was any sense between Barbara and I, period.
This is Christine Weston Chandler, the creator of the webcomic Sonichu, a combination of Sonic the Hedgehog and Pikachu, who spent years at the receiving end of non-stop internet trolling. After transitioning into a woman, Christine found herself the target of a particularly nasty group called the Idea Guys, who helped put the notion into her head that all fictional characters exist together in another dimension, and that she was the goddess who would one day merge that reality with her own. As she fell deeper into these delusions with the help of a woman named Isabella Loretta Jenke, things became infinitely worse when Christine was arrested for allegedly having relations with her own mother. At least that's a condensed version of events. Many people at the time believed that this is where the story would end, with her behind bars. But after nearly 2 years in jail, Christine has returned to the outside world, and with her sense of reality spiraling, a vortex seems to have been created around her, warping reality and sucking anyone who gets too close into the chaos. And with that, I decided to tempt fate and travel back down to Virginia again after nearly 5 years, to reunite with the most trolled person in human history. This is the continued saga of Jesus Christ Chan Weston Chandler Sonichu Prime. Previously known as Christine Chandler, previously known as Christian Chandler, previously known as Christopher Chandler, but best known to the internet as Chris Chan. It's been 4.5 years since I originally met Chris Chan. It's my first time back in Virginia since then as well. It's crazy to think that an entire pandemic came and went, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I actually am quite nervous. It just feels like a roller coaster, like we're reaching the top of the tallest elevation, and once we meet Christine, we're gonna go for a ride. Well, it's nice to see you again, Chris Chan, Christine.
Yeah.
What's your current title?
Yeah, I prefer to go by Christ Chan these days, or Christ. 16.
Okay, sounds good. Do you have something for me?
Yeah, I'll give you one of the special ones that has the, flip it over.
Is this an eyeball?
No, essentially it's a megastone, but really it's a Orsphere quartz. Very, very blessed, and definitely so.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. This is awesome.
You know why they call it chicken soup for the soul?
Why?
Because chicken soup is neutral. It's a neutral good healing. I'm multi-religious. I mean, physically, I actually am about 0.01% Ashkenazi Jewish, as proven by 23andMe. My apologies for not being specific on the name, but my conscious memory, had taken so much of the time, because I've literally connected with the Akashic records and everything that is and was and will be. I've connected with the literal core and matrix of this universe, as depicted, and it's very similar to the universe by that eye-looking thing with the star gem in the middle. I foreknew what was going to happen, but then it did happen. I was put into jail, accused of all of those, of which I was wrongfully false witness for, which obviously now, I mean, shoot. Even when you're conversing with one another, you're soul bonding that way. But if you're feeling any doubt, because demons stem from doubt, you have any doubt, those demons are going to come right into you and just affect your mind, your mindset and thinking.
That's quite this amount of information to comprehend.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, I do have a few friends I talk. About that, and definitely got to plug this in. So I started doing me versus AI in the regards of a sing star competition. A little bit better, hey, versus a computer that can replicate singing and voicing in a way. But hey, that AI cannot adjust the pitch all the way from the nose down to the deep bass of the throat. Okay. And they teach you that in voice acting and singing classes.
I don't think I've ever known that before. The events that took place between July 30th and August 2nd of 2021 were a distressing time for the Chandler family, to put it mildly. Following the release of the infamous phone conversation with Isabella Loretta Jenke, the college student who coerced Chris Chan into admitting to her alleged crime of elder abuse, police arrived at their home and informed Christine that she would have to leave. After packing up her things, she did so with surprisingly little could stay with them until the whole thing blew over. When she arrived to find nobody home though, she opted to wait on their porch for somebody to arrive and let her in. But instead of receiving a warm welcome and a helping hand, Christine was instead visited by even more police. You see, Harriet and Tom wanted nothing to do with their niece, and had contacted authorities in order to get her off their property. If it hadn't been apparent before, this should have been the signal that Christine was well and truly alone in the world. But still, Chris Chan remained undeterred, choosing to instead stay at a Regency Inn outside of Richmond. Since she lacked the funds to pay for it though, she used Barbara's credit card to get the room. Once she was settled in, Christine began talking to a few of her online acquaintances in order to figure out what would be her next step. Chief among these was Null, owner of Kiwi Farms, who called the disgraced comic artist in disbelief over the recent revelations. According to Christine, he told her, "You've really done it this time, Chris. You've blown it." Chris Chan simply responded, "Did I though?" You probably know how the story progressed from here. On August 1st, Chris Chan was arrested outside her hotel, while previously the only video of this event had been a live stream conducted by Ethan Ralph. Police body cam footage was later released, which gave a much more close and personal angle of what went down.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Christine Chandler.
Okay, can you come out for a second?
What is Chris Chan? It's the most documented human ever. But when I first
Do you
saw
know
it,
about Chris Chan, Jamie?
Oh, I'm looking at. It's not.
okay,
So what is the story?
that's where it goes.
Singularity of woke.
It's like this weird autistic, always online fusion that shapes your. But you got to begin with the right clay, which is someone autistic, not being raised right. Every phase of it you can watch, and at some point, someone told him that you can't. Like, dude, it's unbelievable.
What is Chris Chan?
What's the situation?
What's that? You got a warrant for your arrest, all right? Yep. Yep.
Okay.
You're not gonna stop. You're not gonna do that.
Do not fight. You will get tased.
Okay, well, listen, I will comply, but I'd like to clear up I'd like to come back for my things.
In the original live stream, it was clear to see that Christine was in shockingly high spirits considering her situation, but this updated perspective painted a much bleaker picture. While yes, Chris Chan did comply with all the officer's demands, she seemed so detached from reality as to not fully be able to comprehend what was going on. She very frankly told the present authorities that her husband, Maji-chan Sonichu, was in the room with them and didn't seem to realize at all how strange that would sound.
By the way, if any of y'all has been feeling a punch like sensation on your leg, that is my husband, Maji-chan Sonichu, right on the opposite side of the universe field. He's punching you all each, just a gentle punch, let you know he is here.
Okay.
Did you feel it? He punched you first.
Yeah, so I didn't, but, you know.
Much more, hubby.
Christine also sounded incredibly concerned about what would become of her possessions, specifically her Sonichu medallion, which she insisted she needed to wear once being transferred to jail and likened it to a religious relic. After that, she was led out of the hotel room to the waiting cop car, giving us the footage that has since gone viral. This would be the last thing many people saw or heard from the internet personality for a very long time, and many assumed it would be the end of the ongoing public saga of her life altogether. The Sonichu creator was not completely isolated though. Following the transfer to the Central Virginia Regional Jail, she was visited by her pastoral counselor, Rocky Shoemaker, who had remained loyal to the Chandler family through thick and thin. But even with barely a friend left in the world, Christine never believed she was truly alone. Thanks to her ever-worsening delusions, she was able to imagine Magic-chan Sonichu by her side at all times. When Shoemaker came to visit her in jail, she played along, pretending to be able to see the magical hedgehog standing in the room. Following the transfer to the Central Virginia Regional Jail, she was visited by her pastoral counselor, Rocky Shoemaker, who had remained loyal to the Chandler family through thick and thin. But even with barely a friend left in the world, Christine never believed she was truly alone. Thanks to her ever-worsening delusions, she was able to imagine Magic-chan Sonichu by her side at all times. When Shoemaker came to visit her in jail, she played along, pretending to be able to see the magical hedgehog standing in the room with them. It can be argued whether this sort of behavior only served to enable Christine's worsening mental state, but at this point, most people believed she was too far gone to be saved. This was her reality now, and there was no going back. Even with her boundless imagination to keep her company, though, the isolation was clear.
'Okay, I've been talking to myself fucking all day. And, no. I had my mic muted. Stupid. No, I've already seen this. I've already reacted. It's not great. It's not my favorite analog horror. If you got any, like, better analog horrors, I'll totally watch it. Man, I've just been rambling on. Thank you for telling me my mic was not muted. Yeah. You know Ball? What is that? $670. Like, what are we watching? I don't really care for it. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm more like Gemini Home Entertainment. That kind of thing. Like, I totally respect his art. Yeah, I do this shit all the time. Big Vintage 8 fan. Backrooms. Yeah, like the moon woke up. I'm following Mr. Friend. Like, if you got new analog horror stuff, let me have it, man. I know about the prehistoric, like, monsters coming up. I know the carnivore, or what is it called? Living meat or whatever. Vita Carnis. Local 58, I'm down. Like, if you got some shit that I don't know about, please tell me. Midwest Angelica I've watched. I've done the Winter of 83. The Tornado Storm Chaser thing I've been up to date on. Oddity, but I know Dr. Nowhere. I don't know if I've done Oddity. Why am I not subscribed to it? Like, I know the boiled one, that one 10 million views. I don't think I've done the Oddity. Okay.
Dr. Nowhere's Office of Wonders presents the Oddity Compendium of Beginner's Anomaly Education Pro.
Okay, is this like some SCP bullshit?
Welcome to the Oddity Compendium. Today, we will be learning about many wonderful and strange oddities that exist inside of, outside.
Yeah, I've never seen this before. For pulling my lolcow addiction Christian bullshit.
And around your universe, these strange phenomena can range anywhere from life forms.
Hold on. It was 2 years ago. I haven't seen this. Wild. Okay, well, I'm gonna still watch this. Only 13.
Products and organizations to even events and anomalous time periods. Important. The following information has
Take
been
it easy.
acquired from realities that may be separate from the one you are currently residing in. Please be aware that knowledge or comprehension of incompatible information
I'm always
may
down for
result in
new
a
shit.
conscious reality
100%.
fracture.
A bit rudimentary. Fair enough. Your own bed may be harboring a hunger for... If you ever walk downstairs one morning and your family is gone, interacting with the headless corpses that remain in their stead should be avoided. Non-existence is a contagious disease. Not know that. If you're out in the middle of nowhere and you get a rush of brilliant ideas, turn back immediately. Enlightenment is a drug and the withdrawals can kill. Good to know.
Fleshheads or mattress folk are a species of parasitics.
The mattress folk, it's kind of like the corner folk. Imitation's the sincerest form of flattery, but I do enjoy original. Let's see how it plays out, though. It's only 13 minutes. Go back to Christian.
Subhuman that highly resemble bedding mattresses. The body is a dormant flesh that appears identical to a standard mattress.
I think the laugh, I don't know.
However,
Not
slicing
a
the thin
fan.
sheet-like skin reveals many soft organs, limb-like appendages, and a humanoid head which hides beneath the skin. They were first discovered in the late 1960s when a mattress company was surveying excess storage. Upon finding many seemingly pristine mattresses that had not been sold, they gave them away to thrift shops and people in need. The people who received the mattress folk initially had no issues with faux beds. It wasn't until the air began to warm up that these beds awoke from their uneventful hibernations.
What are the let's see, the mattress like ate or something because it was too hot.
Was 19-year-old
Alice doing?
She had been sleeping on a
Weird to introduce the laughter, man. Like, this is Dr. Nowhere. Enlightenment is a drug and the withdrawals can kill goes unreasonably hard.
Flesh dead for roughly 6 months before her sudden disappearance. After noticing the stench of sulfur and rot originating from her bed, her family called authorities, and the inside of the mattress revealed a feasting parasite, several hundred human bones, and a half-digested Alice.
Okay.
The method in which
so the mattress takes you in and then it eats you. Interesting premise, actually.
Rest folks sustain themselves is by waiting for the body heat of a host to wake them from their dormant state. Kind of like an egg, but not nearly as tasty.
No.
After they wake, they slowly unfold themselves from their soft mattress-like bodies. This process is very gradual and happens underneath its body or on its side so as not to be detected.
It kind of reminds me of the movie that Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, which I read growing up. But like there's an entity like the pale woman or whatever that kind of just engulfed that guy and killed him. Or we don't know. I don't know if there's a sequel in the making. I hope there is.
After roughly a month of this process and on a night 17 degrees Fahrenheit or higher, its head and arms fully emerge and pull the sleeping host into its body, where prey is slowly digested.
That's actually interesting.
Not much is known about how these sleeping beauties came about, but it is theorized that since they are subhuman, they were once a branch of Homo sapiens that merged with a mycelial network many years ago. Autopsies of flesh-heads' digestive systems have revealed DNA samples from thousands of different people in each instance, some even tracing to people born during the 1600s. Another odd thing to note is that the mattress folk themselves contain DNA belonging to humans as well.
I'm not a big fan of that computer voice. I think it's overdone, especially in
One instance shared DNA in a blood type with Napoleon Bonaparte,
a good
leader of the
point
French
knocked
Republic
off.
during the time that the mattress folk were assumed to have come into existence. All in all, it might be a good idea to throw out that mattress that feels just a bit too warm lately. You might be sharing it with something unwanted. Good night, sleep tight, and don't let the bed bite.
It's bed bugs.
The headless macrocosm is a sub-reality nearly identical to Earth save for the fact instead of humans, pale headless corpses remain in their stead. These corpses, though technically dead, do weakly breathe through the holes in their
Dude,
neck.
like, and I get to the good shit. I don't really. It's not pulling me in, man.
Shield with a small house in the center. Upon reaching the house, the man unintentionally brushed up against one of the breathing bodies. This body, just before motionless aside from the labored convulsions, sprang to life and removed the head of the man. It then proceeded to attach the severed head to the stump of its own neck. The man's name was Michael Hedford. After the corpse had placed...
I feel that this is done just to be done. You know, like there's no overarching narrative, no reason why I'm invested. It's like, ooh, shit. Yeah, I'm living life. The spooky shit.
Michael's head, where its own should be, an event occurred back on Earth in the year 2061 that resulted in governmental intervention. A family's call to the authorities described an impossibly tall naked figure appearing in their backyard. The presence of this oddity was highly distressing to the family, and they remained inside their home until the situation was resolved. The following photograph depicts this figure they spoke of. Michael Tedford's rotting head is affixed atop its frail neck. Shortly after the photo was taken, what was left...
And also, I think about this is the show don't tell part. They're just telling me. I'm just receiving information in my drums. They're not providing like footage or video or anything, which I understand, but I don't know. It's not.
Tedford's existence was removed from the premises and taken to an upscale anomaly testing site. Apparently, this corpse was attempting to quite literally become Tedford by leeching off of his existence. These breathing bodies appear to be in a
Go frame by frame. The face you are looking for no longer. That's a local 50. Quite. Apparently, this corpse was attempting to quite literally become something by leeching off of his existence. The breathing bodies appear to be in a constant state of yearning to reconnect with the reality again. They have been taken hold by demons. Fair.
These breathing bodies appear to be in a constant state of yearning to reconnect with the roots of reality again, as they have been taken a hold of by a dangerous and contagious.
See, what this works for is the Oracle project, Vintage 8's Oracle stuff. This is just a computer reading this. And Vintage 8 set up why the computer is the way it is and how it got so big. This is just here. You know what I'm saying?
Disease. This disease appears to be non-existence itself. It can affect anyone on Earth at any time, and once it takes hold, the headless macrocosm deems you valid for residence within its endless meadows, filled with fellow patients. But don't worry, it's a rare diagnosis. Another fun fact. Occasionally, crude man-made structures will form seemingly out of nowhere in order to correspond with the structures on parallel Earth. As mentioned earlier, the headless macrocosm itself functions like a digestive tract of the universe, and these structures may be antibodies attempting to fight off the virus of non-existence. Now then, check your head. Screwed on tight. Great, because you might want to hang on tight to it for this next one.
Weird tone. I can't get the tone. It wants to be serious. It wants to be comedic. I don't know. Not mashing very well.
The obelisks of enlightenment are a collective of monolithic beings that are currently residing in different remote locations across the world. Also known as the Fathers of True North, they appear in groups of 1 to 8 and stand anywhere from 10 to 150 feet tall. Each obelisk is levitated just barely above the ground and facing geodetic north. Though most of them reside in remote fields and deserts, they have also been found floating above the ocean.
Geodetic north is not the same thing as geopolar north. Yeah, geodetic north is the actual north of the North Pole, but the polarity of our Earth is slightly up. What I thought.
Though most of them reside in remote fields and deserts, they have also been found floating above the ocean within the vicinity of the Bermuda Triangle and even on the Moon. They are moving just ever so slightly and progress approximately 2 inches forward a year. These obelisks are enlightened in the infinitely vast secrets of the universe, and are constantly vocalizing the excess information as a means of waste to counteract the overwhelming intake of knowledge. Though currently enclosed and monitored by government entities, many people have wandered into these locations prior claiming to be following the sound of angelic singing. This alluring hum emanating from these obelisks induces a massive increase in general intelligence in subjects listening. Folklore refers to the frequency as the song of the divine contour. Each obelisk fly.
That is a very large word. Son of the contour, son of the divine contour. That's
folklore refers to the frequency as the song of the divine contour. Each obelisk's biological elements are unraveled thousands of feet into the sky to make a metaphysical connection from Earth to the universe. It is assumed this is a form of knowledge worship, an attempt to make a more...
Oh, this is actually pretty fucking assuming we believe. So, geodetic north is like off by 1. Pretty much insignificant, but magnetic north is off by 13. And they plotted it. They took a fucking compass or something. 1590, that's where it pointed. All of these lines is where they north. And then here, 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 and then we actually followed the line straight up in basically the turn of the century in 19. And we just kept following. The person in 1632 probably would have gone in this, although our dynamo inside of our plane, like a liquid, it probably does, but very, very, very. This is an amazing illustration. Okay, anyway, sorry.
Mortal sacrifice for an immortal honor. Fun fact. These organs are confirmed to be those of the humans and other biological matter that were absorbed after enlightenment. Upon perceiving the words spoken by the obelisks or entering into close proximity with them, the human brain either spontaneously expands and combusts or receives an ability to comprehend the sacred information. Talk about being open-minded. Whenever a subject
again, we're background of
is able to comprehend this knowledge, they are biologically absorbed into the obelisk, becoming wholly unified with the being. It is not entirely understood how these anomalies were brought into existence, but they seem to be tears in the fabric of reality akin to black holes. Many speculate that these rifts were opened by ancient giants who were dissatisfied with a lack of Earth's knowledge. Many unnaturally large humanoid skeletons have been found underground adjacent to obelisk sites, further supporting this idea. When the obelisks made their debut on Earth, they aided in the construction of the pyramids of Giza by bestowing digestible levels of sacred knowledge onto Egyptian pharaoh Khufu after he was lured into the desert by their beckoning chords. This knowledge would help Khufu rationalize a possible blueprint and method for building these grand tombs, and they were made into the shapes of pyramids as a tribute to the divine structures. All in all, these obelisks may seem malevolent, but it's important to remember that no physical pain could ever outweigh the agony of infinite knowledge.
I think the obelisks are controlling this.
Now, looks like our time here may be almost up. But before you go, it's time for a bonus oddity.
Oh, bonus! Let's go, baby. Philbus.
This is Philbus. It is not known where Philbus comes from or why he is here, but there have been a number of people who, after consuming media depicting Philbus, have felt the overwhelming compulsion to practice Philbism. Philbism is a political and somewhat religious ideology which centers around the belief that building/consuming chairs and other wooden furniture is honoring Philbus' great sacrifice. It is not clear what this sacrifice is or what it refers to. Attributes and practices of Philbism include learning to build chairs, learning to properly digest chairs, promoting/discussing chair consumption
I was with you on number one.
Internet forums, praising the fictional political candidate known as Philbus, who is said to advocate for making furniture consumption a socially accepted and widespread practice.
So they want to build the chairs to... Yes. But chairs are designed to perform a function. Is he going the route of my Baldur's Gate 3 character where I killed like every ladder that I came across? And then like I knew like people did not like that. I think it's pretty... I need to play more Baldur's Gate, maybe.
There are so many wonderful things about Fildism. Consider the body of Fildism to come one with many others.
Or after I, like, go get lunch.
Just keep prepared to get started. Any mention of Fildism and elaboration on the subject will eventually result in it becoming a sponsorship or advertisement of sorts. We have no idea how to avoid this, sorry. All Fildists will deny the existence of Fildism when directly questioned about it. This video was not in any way sponsored by Fildism. This is for educational purposes only.
I think it was.
Fildism does
That's exactly what a video sponsored by Fildism would say.
not even exist. Sign up for Fildism certification here.
This is so fucking stupid.
Would you look at the clock? It's just about time for us to part ways.
Good.
Cleansing process will now commence.
We're nearly done. One more minute.
Will ensure you do not come away from this with any ailments from beyond contract during your viewing experience. Please close your eyes and do not open them until told to do so.
I'll fall asleep if I do that. It's Mandela catalog shit. Everything's copying on Mandela catalog. I'm surprised they don't copy off of Local 58, but there's not like a reoccurring thing there. I mean, I don't know. I this whole stretch died base thing. Weird. I will look back, motherfucker, and I will be the abyss. Hold on.
Thank you for
Oh, it's not getting closer. It kind of looked like it was.
We hope that you enjoyed your stay.
Not his best work, I'm gonna be real. Not the best work of Dr. Wonder. It was like 2 years ago. Yeah. I don't feel it, man. Okay, let's go.
Clearly getting to Chris Chan. She had spent the last 20-odd years of her life able to express her thoughts to a wide audience of people on the World Wide Web who listened to every word, as ironic as their enjoyment may have been. She needed an outlet to express herself, even if the only person who could read it was her. After a few nights behind bars,
that's
she
like
grabbed
me
a
and
pen
streaming,
and paper and began keeping a detailed diary of her experiences behind bars. This diary, which we have been given full exclusive access to, was simply titled The Goddess Logs.
Finally able to resume after the big gamble's result. As foreseen, I was arrested. I played it honest and natural.
Is this liquid crap?
Because I was counting and appreciating my blessings. I did not fight, argue, or yell at the police. I happily
I think that's
complained,
liquid Chris.
as I have foreseen for the long run and bigger picture, for I and the collectives between both universe halves this particular outcome, and I had my choices. I felt this was the safest and most healing for I and everyone.
In the beginning, Christine sounded very much at peace with her current situation. Perhaps this was because of her confidence that she would soon be released due to the imminent completion of the dimensional merge. But that confidence was shaken on August.
Man, imagine if that actually did happen and Chris Chan was like the god of the entire fucking, like, what even kind of D&D campaign.
5th, when Christine attended her first bond hearing alongside her
You
court-appointed
could do
lawyer
it
David
too.
Hallberg.
The bond was denied for now due to the minority number of fakers and haters among my flock and followers of the collective.
At least, that's what Chris Chan said in the pages of the Goddess Logs. According to a reporter who attended the hearing, though, the Sonichu artist repeatedly interrupted the proceedings even after being asked not to by both the judge and her attorney. Among these outbursts were multiple instances of Christine demanding her belongings from the hotel room be returned to her, claiming she wouldn't feel safe until she had them. In addition, she also derailed the hearing with a seeming non sequitur in which she announced she was famous on the internet. With her hopes of achieving freedom anytime soon destroyed, Christine returned to her cell with a new sense of loneliness. Christine's access to the outside world was not completely cut off, though. Despite the fact that she was unable to use the internet, she soon discovered that she was able to make contact with people the old-fashioned way, through the mail. The first of these jail letters was sent to an unknown recipient, but was
we got
intended
jail
as
letter time. Actually, I'm probably gonna finish this. Pretty tired. Been streaming for nearly 3.5 hours. I'll come back later. Probably pizza too. Thinking pizza. Sounds pretty good. Anyway, I'm gonna go lay down. Be back. Hit it 10 minutes. Of my goddamn tangents. There's so many questions I still have to like answer, but I'm gonna hold my tongue until he puts out like 5 more videos, which is gonna be in like 5 years. Anyway, I'll be back.